We are live transmission. King Bucho, how are you?
I'm pretty good. We should have put some music at the beginning.
We should have, we could have, but you know what? Such is life. I am Bobby Tex, aka Lex Fresno, being joined here by King Bucho once again. You know, just testing out this little live BDA transmission that we've got going. We tried one on, what was it, Sunday?
Yeah, I think it was
evening?
Sunday.
You think? It was Sunday evening. No, it was Sunday evening. And we had a lot of fun, covered a lot of topics. And if you guys out there listening, you want to join us, you can do so through the address that is on the lower and left hand of the screen. Join us at Boxing Debate at hotmail.com through Google Groups. If you guys want to join
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts.
Google Groups.
If you want to join us there and you can talk live, people will be listening to what you have to say. Just tell us whatever you think, whatever's on your mind, and we will put you on. There is no discrimination here. We're gonna do our best to hear your opinions, and there's a lot going in boxing right now. A lot of things upcoming this summer. But King, how are you?
I'm doing good. Still pissed off about that Pacquiao fight.
Pissed off? No, you said you didn't. No, wait a minute.
No, not pissed. Well, yeah, pissed off as in the sense like, you know, I always get pissed off when you have all this. Well, you have these robberies in boxing, but then it lasts like a week. After that, it's gone.
You get pissed off when you wake up in the morning, man.
Fades away. Well, you know why I'm angry also? Because now there's a lot of casual boxing fans. Non-boxing fans also.
Yeah, casual.
Casuals are people who actually watch some boxing here and there. There's also people who never watch a boxing fight. These people now, they probably saw this Pacquiao fight on ESPN, and then they see there's a huge robbery that goes on. And then what are they gonna start thinking about? They're gonna start thinking, oh well, boxing is this is boxing. It's corruption. I don't want to see it again. You know, the stereotypes.
Yeah. You know, so what? You've been a boxing fan for 20 years, man. Fucking.
No, I know, but
Tyson biting off an ear.
I know, but this fight was on ESPN. That's what I'm saying. If this fight would have taken place on HBO, whatever, championship boxing or pay-per-view, I would have been like, okay, fine, we've seen this before, and I would have been like, well, whatever. Like people who actually bought this pay-per-view or were watching this fight on HBO championship boxing are hardcore boxing fans, and they're used to these robberies. But people on ESPN, casual boxing fans who are watching this fight on ESPN, see this robbery as, oh well, that's the reason why I don't watch boxing. You know, oh, here we go again, another robbery. I'm gonna stop watching boxing. So this robbery was bad for boxing. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, listen, the people that were gonna stop watching boxing because of one bad decision, they were never gonna be boxing fans in the first place. Because how many bad decisions have we gone through, and we keep watching this fucked up sport. So I don't think really it's gonna matter all that much. And you know, every time there's a bad decision, these people always come out of the woodwork and say how boxing is corrupt as fuck. It's corrupt this. We don't. I mean, and I do even wonder how much of an impact that decision made. First of all, it wasn't the worst decision ever. It wasn't the worst robbery ever.
No, it wasn't. No.
So I mean, it's. I think boxing is gonna do fine on ESPN, and it's interesting how Bob Arum has been able to get big ratings on his first fight. Yes, it was Pacquiao, who still has a big name attached to him, so that helped. But man, he's got Lomachenko coming up on ESPN, right? Is that confirmed?
What?
That Lomachenko is going to be on ESPN.
Yeah.
And then
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford. And I mean, I don't know how exciting those fights are going to be, or how many ratings those fights are going to get. But nevertheless, these are the fights we're getting already on pay-per-view. I mean, the ESPN ratings were quite high. And like I said, I'm not going to disparage the PBC, which is the other latest entity to have developed boxing on network television. They didn't have a Pacquiao on their roster. They had Mayweather, but there's no way Mayweather is ever gonna fight on network television unless they come up with some sort of some rich investor, some rich Arab or something comes in and offers him millions of dollars. But those fights are going to be coming up on ESPN and will be quite useful in telling us where boxing is going on ESPN, because like I said, Pacquiao, it's hard to judge since he's a pretty big name, and they promoted that fight a lot, the Pacquiao Horn, even though it was a mismatch coming in.
Yeah, it was.
It's still for the fact that it did the ratings that it did means that.
What was the ratings? Then I heard it was only 3 million viewers.
It was only 3 million, but apparently that's good nowadays, right?
Yeah, I think maybe people were expecting more. But then again, it was the first fight that they've had on ESPN for a while, a big fight, I should say. So let's see how Terence Crawford does on ESPN and Lomachenko as well. Then we can have a proper assessment on ESPN for a while, a big
Make
fight,
a proper assessment.
And what else is going? Well, on July 15th, we're gonna have. I can't stop talking about that card, man. The BDA. I was gonna say BDA. No, the Burchell versus Miura. That's gonna be a fucking sensational fight. Sensational card. We got Barrera and Joe Smith Jr. as well. Jesseril Corrales is gonna fight. I mean, it's everything that boxing after dark should be.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exciting night of boxing, summer night of boxing. This is what boxing needs, though. And this, I mean, imagine if this event would have been on ESPN, though.
Which event?
The one that's gonna be on HBO.
Yeah, that's I wonder, because again the PBC had some good fights every once in a while, and hopefully we'll see what happens with them if they're still alive. I don't even know. You know what? I'm gonna go check that out right now. Schedule. Oh, you check it out. Check it out.
What?
ESPN PBC's upcoming schedule, because from what I know, they only have cards on Bounce TV right now.
No, they have that one on Fox.
In Fox.
The amazing Guerrero Figueroa fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be exciting, huh? It's gonna be.
Well, Figueroa is an exciting fighter, and Robert Guerrero is drained enough now, that he might be able to make a good fight. I mean, an entertaining fight, but I don't know. Figueroa should have. Figueroa should have done something a little more.
Here's the schedule, man. We have Figueroa against Guerrero on July the 15th on Fox. Hold on. Then we have Flores Avalos on July 18th. That's gonna be on Fox 1. Broner Garcia. That's a good fight. I mean, that's on
Showtime.
That's on Showtime, though, obviously. And then we have Ortiz Corral on FS1.
Victor Ortiz?
I think, this is Victor Ortiz.
And that's it?
Yeah, I don't see anything else, man. I thought the PBC had over 200 fighters.
Yeah.
Where are they? What are they doing?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're fucking complaining.
No, they must be. And
especially now, like I said, that now we talked about this, man. Like, now that you see ESPN having all these events that they're gonna be having with Top Rank and De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, I'm pretty sure these PBC boxers are pissed off or are jealous of what's going on with ESPN and all these other promotional companies. I'm sure they're wondering, like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, I wonder how many of them, they're looking at the PBC the way it's going. I wonder if they're thinking, how long is this gonna last? And after it's done, how much money am I gonna be able to keep making? Because nobody knows who they are now, because the BBC hasn't been promoting them.
Yeah.
Nobody knows their names. Why is Showtime gonna have them back? Who knows how much determination Showtime still has to showcasing boxing at this point. So we're gonna have to see, man. I do think that a lot of these guys must be pissed off. Yes, they're getting paid, at least those that fight more than 2 times a year. But other than that, there has to be some dissent in the PBC ranks.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, are they getting paid for inactivity though? That's what I'm wondering.
Paid? I don't think so. Maybe Uncle Al gives some of his favorites, a package every once in a while. And that's a big if. I don't even know.
Well, Angel Garcia seems pretty happy with his money and spending it on hoes and strippers. Remember?
Angel Garcia.
Yeah, Angel Garcia. The father.
Yeah, I know. That's what he said.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he said in multiple videos, he was like, oh yeah, I enjoy, the money, and I don't know, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines.
Strippers and
yeah, he likes
female
to spend,
strippers. Or?
Who the hell knows?
Because this guy, he's just talking about cock, he's talking about, Keith Thurman, he don't have a big cock. That's what he was saying after the Thurman fight. He's saying Thurman doesn't have a big cock. I'm thinking, the hell does that have to do with it? I mean, I know he was trying to say, it would have been better if he had said, oh, Keith Thurman has no balls. The balls, they represent manliness and all that, courage. But the dick, he's talking about dicks. I mean, I don't, the guy...
There you are. Penis! Penis! Big fucking erect penis, mom! Penis!
Enough about the PBC trashing, or...
PBC I didn't go into this trashing.
There's never enough PBC trashing.
I wanted PBC to succeed, man, and I know you did too. When they came out with the Keith Thurman, Robert Guerrero, the first fight, and then they also had Peterson versus Danny Garcia. I said, very good fights. If this is what they're gonna be keep putting on, I'm in. Yeah. That's what I wanted. And then every once in a while they would have good fights. Mares versus Santa Cruz on ESPN. We had Keith Thurman versus Porter on CBS, and Thurman versus Garcia. But those fights were just sprinkled there every once in a while. Everything else, guys that we really don't know much about. What else? Or mismatches. I mean, come on. It's.
I wonder how much money they have left now.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but it can't be much looking at the few dates that they have on television right now.
It's fucking. Let me look at this shit again, man, because I only see 1, 2, 3, 4 events.
And what's the last one is on July 30th.
Yeah. Well, like.
So they're gonna be coming up with some more dates off the fly, I assume. So let's say by July 13th they announce more dates. Up till, I don't know, let's say October. That means they're winging this on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Because when's the Lomachenko fight and the Terence Crawford? Is it in August?
I don't know.
Because I think it's in August. Okay. They already know. The Top Rank already knows that they're gonna be having these 2 events with 2 big names.
Right.
It's gonna be happening in August. And then you look at the PBC. And they have over 200 fighters, some shit like that, like crazy number. They don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen in August. Like
so
they're like you said, they're doing this on the fly, man. This is fucking disgusting, man. No, seriously, for a big company like that, and then people go, oh no, the BBC is not hurting boxing at all. Everything's fine. When you have 200 fighters being held hostage. And they're not fighting, and you don't even have a schedule for August yet. I mean, that tells me that they're doing something wrong.
Oh, they're doing something.
They're doing that's not right, man.
How dare you talk to me like that?
Whoops.
What are they doing in August?
First of all, August is always a death month.
If I had 200 fighters, sorry, but like I already have a schedule till fucking the end of the year or something like that.
Yeah. Something. I mean,
no, maybe not the end of the year, but till September, November.
No, well, I know what you mean. And
somebody could fight this month and then fight maybe in November, December. But still, they have no idea what they're doing, and also they don't even have a plan for their fighters. Like for example. You could have Danny Garcia fighting in July and then preparing him, grooming him for a fight in November or something like that. No, they don't even know when a fighter is gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what they're gonna do with that fighter after he wins his next fight. They don't even have a long-term plan.
I know, man. It's
They're doing this on the fucking fly, man.
It's interesting how a company can be run that way, and I want to go back to leave it that way, so we can check out. I wanted to talk about that. Now that you mentioned that, remember in the article I mentioned the other day about Al Heyman and how he made that montage of his fight.
Explain it again, because maybe people didn't.
But anyway, there was an article by Thomas Hauser trying to unearth more information about Al Heyman, and what I wanted to say was that he says, according to some of the sources he spoke to, Al Heyman doesn't like delegating power, meaning he wants to have his hand in everything.
Yeah.
And this type of, we're talking about the scheduling of the fights. It shows us that he's not really planning. I don't even know if he's cut out for this boxing thing, because like I said in the previous BDA transmission, people think it's so easy to break into boxing. Oh, I just gotta have a couple of bucks, a couple of investors. You come in, bada bing, bada boom, and you buy your way into boxing. Doesn't work that way. There's real work that has to be done in there, promoting, marketing, and I just don't know if he has that. Yes, he made a lot of money. He's an not the entrepreneur, but what's the word I'm looking for here? That he's savvy enough that he navigated his way to success in the music industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this isn't the music industry. This is boxing,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to build a brand for your fighters, just the same way that you do with a singer. So, and you want people to go hear you sing, your musician play music or sing.
Yeah.
The same thing here with boxing, but he just doesn't. It seems like there's no effort really to promote the fights.
But,
Or the fight.
because I think this is a money scheme or something, and like this is, I don't really think Al-Haymon was trying to become a promoter, man.
You don't?
Well, promoter. He was never a promoter, allegedly. This is just a money grabber. I don't know. There's something weird with the PBC. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't fucking know.
Something is wrong here.
This is unbelievable. I cannot understand how a company with 200 that has over 200 fighters is unable to make a schedule for August. That's where it's the 6th of July.
6th of
No,
June.
7th.
No, it's the 6th. It's the 6th, Bucho.
6th,
You gotta
huh?
stop drinking while we do these transmissions. Really, I mean, every time.
No, man,
No,
like,
but you're right. And listen, and you think about it. The last thing you would expect from the PBC, who have 250 fighters or 200 in this roster, is not to have fights scheduled ahead of time. Because I mean, and then you think about it again. If he's doing this on the fly, put yourself in the place of a professional boxer.
Yeah.
Unless he's keeping these guys on rotation, training year round, which I don't know if he is, because those training it costs money too to go into the gym and
They're these fighters that don't know what this is an assumption. I believe that these fighters that are from the PBC and they don't know if they're gonna be fighting soon. They're probably at the gym right now, just doing some light workout, man. Because
that's what I'm saying. Because that's what I was about to say. Let's say that he's keeping them training year round, which costs money. So I don't know if he's doing it or not. Does this mean that these guys are like firemen? They have to be on waiting for a calls to fight in a month ahead? Because it takes time for a training camp. Could be 5 to 7 or more weeks of training, a proper training camp. So does this mean either this means that these guys are only getting about 3-4 weeks to train for a fight, which would, I hope for them, mean that they're training before that and they're
that's
staying
a good
fit.
point, man.
Because
Then they get a phone call. Oh, you're gonna be fighting in 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Because think about it. When was the Mikey Garcia Broner fight announced?
Early June.
Early June, and it's
I think I'm fucking guessing. Yeah,
and
I
it's
think.
set for around the end of July 27th.
Yeah, no, it was pretty. No, yeah. To be honest, yeah, it was quickly.
It was quickly. I mean, they still have more than a month to train, but nevertheless.
And I'm pretty sure they were in the gym already.
Yeah, they were already.
But still, it's not the same, man. It's like
not for other fight, because this is a big fight for the PBC. Because this is a big fight for the PBC, so they probably knew ahead of time.
No. Because I saw some interviews, like a week before they announced the fight, or a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, let's say. Before they announced the fight, there was an interview with Mikey Garcia, and they were asking him like who he was gonna fight. And he was like, he was giving all these options. He was like, well, I might fight Broner, I might fight this. Like, he didn't even know, man.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
They don't give me facts. What facts?
Who interviewed him? Anyway, yeah, he was in the park.
You did. I'm sorry, because I was playing the sound effects, and people probably didn't hear the last things you said. Because
No, I'm basically like Mikey Garcia didn't know who he was fighting.
Okay, but let's say at least that they were told. I hope so. That they were told. Listen, you guys are gonna, they told both guys. You're gonna fight on July the 20th against who knows who, but just be ready for that fight. So maybe they had already started training prior.
Yeah.
To the fight being announced, but it just goes to show you how
how the PBC works, how disorganized the PBC is, man. They do things on the fucking fly, man.
You know what? This whole thing, PBC thing, depresses me. That's why I don't like to talk about it, because it was such a great opportunity. And you know, like Koopa always used to say, there's nothing worse than wasted talent or wasted potential. In this case, that's what we had, wasted potential, because the PBC started in beginning of 2015. We're now in the middle of 2017.
Yeah, no, and let me just clarify, because
Clarify.
A lot of people are gonna be like, a lot of people think I'm a PBC hater for some bullshit. Like,
Why would they
no.
get that opinion?
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna clarify. When the PBC announced, when it was created, and they made this announcement that they were gonna be putting fights on network television, I was for it, man.
Absolutely.
People don't know this shit. I used to be all the time on Facebook while I was at work, and I was chatting on because I wasn't working. I was just chatting on the instead of working. No, on I'm gonna get fired. Boxing. It was a site called Boxing Memes. Facebook page. Sorry, Boxing Memes. I think they closed. I was always debating all these people. Let's call them Floyd lovers and shit like that. You know who they are. And when they announced that the PBC was gonna be having fights on network television, I actually said, you know what, like, I'm gonna give this shit a chance, you know, because I do want boxing to grow, and the best way for boxing to grow is to be on network television.
Absolutely.
Or ESPN, where there's a huge audience. And I remember this guy who I always used to debate on Boxing Memes. He's like, oh, I know you're against Floyd and you're against Rigondeaux, blah, blah, blah. But I'm glad that you're actually giving PBC a chance. He was, telling me like I wasn't biased on this regard. You know? He's like, you actually want boxing to grow, and I told him, yes, I do want boxing to grow. You know, I don't have an agenda for anything, like against anyone or. So, I was for previous. I was skeptical, but I was still like, well, I'll give PBC a chance, because I do want it to grow. I do want boxing to grow, and on, like I said, it's gonna grow on network television. But man, after 6 months, I realized this is some bullshit, man. They have all these fighters, man. They don't fight each other. The top guys don't fight each other. They're all sporadic. They're not even promoted properly. The schedule is so sporadic, and you don't even know when a fight's happening and shit like that. Mismatches, man. That's one of the worst part about the PBC was the mismatches, man. I remember before when they announced that they were gonna be on network television, and they had all those fighters from ex-Golden Boy fighters. People were already making their dream matches, and they were like, oh, this PBC is gonna be great. They're gonna be on NBC, CBS, and then they started making their own schedules. Like, so we're gonna have, what was the first fight they had? It was
Thurman Guerrero.
Thurman Guerrero, yeah. Okay, so perfect. We have Thurman Guerrero. After that, they were saying we're gonna end the year with with Thurman Garcia. I remember they said that. That was 2015.
Yeah.
When the fuck did we get that fight? Thurman Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Which year?
Okay,
This
you're
year.
asking me really? I thought you were.
It's not rhetorical, but it's true. When did we get it? We got it on 2017.
Almost 2 years after.
2 years later, people. I remember in 2015 they were like already making their PBC schedule. Oh, and by the end of the year we're gonna have this fight and this fight. Bullshit, man.
This interesting thing about Danny Garcia. It's you think about it. His biggest win was against Lucas Matisse back in 2013.
Yeah, and then he had all those losses, man.
Now that who?
Garcia.
All those losses.
Unofficial.
Oh, all those. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but what I wanted to say was that time is flying by. It's going by quicker and quicker. I can't believe that it's already been 4 years since that Garcia Matisse fight. But that was when Garcia had a couple of good wins in his ledger. He had, let's see, just to reminisce about it. He had Eric Morales twice. He beat him twice. He beat
That's
Zab
a big win,
Judah.
man.
He beat Amir Khan. And then people are saying, well, he's not going to be able to beat Matisse, which, remember, Matisse was a 140-pound version of Golovkin. And so what happens? Garcia beats him against all odds. And then what does he do? Like you said, that string of mediocre fights. I mean, look, the Mauricio Herrera fight, he was supposed to be a showcase for him. Then the Peterson fight was close. Then he fought Rod Salka, which was a joke. I don't even remember.
Biggest joke in boxing I've seen in a long fucking time, man.
I don't even remember if that was the right order, but whatever. I'm just saying the fights that afterwards. And then he loses. Oh, and then he fought. I forgot he fought Samuel Vargas, or I forget the guy of the some guy.
I don't remember that shit.
Prior to the Thurman fight, I forgot all about that because that's how much I don't.
Oh yeah. That's when Thurman got into the ring. Came in.
Was that okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Did I even see that fight? I think there was another event that night, and I didn't see that fight.
Yeah, because who?
It was in Philly. Oh, wasn't there a UFC event or something?
I don't remember.
No, I didn't watch it.
Are you sure about that?
I think McGregor fought. Yeah.
I think you're lying, man.
Liar, whore!
Anyways,
liar,
point
whore,
is nobody
you
gives
know
a
it.
fuck. Nobody gave a fuck about that fight except Philly. And then we finally got Garcia Thurman, which was a disappointment.
But what I'm saying is this: Danny Garcia should have had a better career than the more recognition than he has now, because the fucking guy. It's interesting. Think about it. Prior to the PBC, the creation of the PBC, he has a good career. People know his name. He's getting all these good wins, and now all of a sudden he's thrust back into obscurity or relative obscurity. His name doesn't grow beyond that the recognition of boxing fans. And then now he lost his fight, and that was back in March. We're now, like I said, middle of the year. And what exactly has been announced for him? Has there been an announcement for his next fight? I know Thurman is injured and he's not going to be fighting anytime soon. But Danny Garcia, what's going on with him?
Yeah, that's what I've been asking, like everyone there, people who have connections in boxing. Like, do you know what the fuck's happening with Danny Garcia? Nobody fucking knows,
Not a
man.
peep.
Like, is he even training the guy? Maybe, but like, what the fuck, man? And I'm pretty sure Al Heyman told him like something fucking vague, like, you might be fighting in December, you know, I'm gonna try to get you a fight this. In the meantime, just like have this check, relax a bit, enjoy your family, blah blah blah. Some
Is that
bullshit.
how he talks, Al Heyman?
Man, well, we can only fucking guess. Nobody knows, man. Like,
I think he talks like with a deep voice. That's what I imagine.
he talks like a mafia guy.
What you gonna do about this?
No, I think he has like a raspy fucking voice or something.
Like devilish, you mean? Like
Devilish.
Like he's planning something, you know, very
Conniving?
insidious, conniving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck it, man.
Wily.
Nobody knows. And like, he never gives, like, seriously, no, also,
You know what, man? Okay.
No, wait,
This whole
wait.
fucking,
For all this, no, for these BBC lovers. Isn't it a bit like, isn't it a bit suspicious why this guy never gives a fucking interview, man? Even when they announced BBC on NBC in 2015, remember they had Duran, they had like fucking Hearns and Leonard, and they had Guerrero and Garcia. They had all this thing, you know, they were taking pictures of them, asking questions and shit. And then wait, hold on. My train of thought is this thing. So they had like this PBC. Jesus Christ! I was talking about when they announced the PBC on NBC, and they had all these people. Al Heyman didn't even show up, man.
No. Well, it's like Jay-Z with what's his name?
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
I know it's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing, but what I'm saying is these are the guys that could be the face of the organization. They could be doing more to promote it, but they're not. That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
But you know what? This whole fucking PBC thing,
Shut the fuck up!
that's what I think about it. Fuck, shit, you know, who cares? That's
Well, I care, man.
That's the thing.
Because
you
they
care.
have 200 fighters, man. They're holding boxing back from reaching its full fucking potential, man.
They're you know what? As like Coop said, they're disappointing themselves.
Okay,
That's what.
question. How come Al Heyman, after 2 years, couldn't get a deal with ESPN like the deal that Bob Arum just got? If he's so savvy and he's so smart and he cares about boxing.
I don't know the answer to that, but I know the answer is gonna be from some people out there on the internet. It's because he's being held back, man. He's
By the
being held
man?
back. Well, listen, man.
Fuck,
the
man. We're not
man-
gonna get into that shit.
No, I know, but that's what I'm telling you. That's what it is. They're gonna say that.
They're gonna be saying that crybaby shit, man. Like
That's why I don't like talking about this whole
the
PBC thing.
victim.
'Cause
Al Heyman is a victim.
the
now.
people, the fighters that chose to go to the BDA, they made their own decision. If they want to stay there, alright, fine. But what I do care is about the HBO and other networks. When Showtime decides to put boxing every once in a while, the big fights are coming up. The fighters that do want to create a spectacle and want to give us a show, that's what I care about. That's why I want to talk about the Berchelt versus Miura fight, because that event is going to be quite something. And I also do think, to give credit to the PBC, is that, well, you know, they have that, at least they have that Broner Garcia fight coming on.
But
and I also heard about,
shit.
hold on. I also heard about,
Yeah. Okay, go.
no, because it's too much complaining about the PBC. The PBC. Fuck him.
Well, fuck, man. We gotta expose this shit, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
No, you're saying that you give him credit for having
at least
Garcia Broner.
A little credit, and that's where the. But hold on, let me finish.
Credit. It's like I feed my kids. I feed my children. Like, well, you should be feeding your children. I mean, like, it's your job.
I know.
And
But
then
what I'm saying is, at least they're making that fight.
When you have over 200 fighters, it should be the norm that you have this.
Right, but we know
2 good fights every.
We know
month,
the
man.
PBC is a mediocre at best. So why keep harping on them? Why keep fucking? It's boring.
Oh, let's just let it go, man, and let's just let PBC do their shit, man.
Exactly.
I hope they run out of money fucking fast.
They have to,
because
man.
they have to fucking go away, man.
Look, how many days did they have? 5 until.
I counted them. Look at shit, man.
1,
2, 3, 4. That's on the PBC website. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 fucking events, man. July 15th, July 18th, July 29th, and July 30th. Nothing for fucking August. And they have over 200 fighters. Now you're gonna tell me that's good for boxing.
You know
and
what I
everything's
think?
fine with the PBC.
I think they're sick, man.
Man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
I think they got AIDS. That's what's going on. I think Al Heyman. imagine Al Heyman gave his father AIDS.
Probably,
Now, of
man.
course, we have to say we're joking. We don't want to get a cease and desist order from having to mention, or we don't want to have CNN also doxing us, or maybe even Al Heyman doxing us. You never know.
they're gonna dox us.
But what I'm saying is this: yes, the PBC is a mediocre entity.
Mediocre is.
Even that would be a compliment, right?
Yes.
But what I was gonna say about the reason why I was talking about Garcia versus Broner is Garcia, from what I hear, because I was reading Boxing Scene the other day, the guy's a free agent. I thought he was with
Wait, who's a free agent?
Mikey Garcia. Now,
No, yeah, we know that shit.
now technically, his advisor is Al Heyman, right?
Yeah. Oh.
So when they say that he's a free agent, he's a
Yeah.
free agent in the sense that he doesn't have a standard promoter, but we all know who might be calling the shots to his career, right?
Yeah, I know, and I don't think they would, like, the PBC would allow him to fight Broner and then allow him to fight somebody else, like, for example, on HBO.
no.
There's probably already, like, an entente or some shit like that where, like, you will fight Broner for a big paycheck, but you gotta, like, kind of make us, like, how you say, fuck, I'm losing my fucking words. But you for sure you gotta fight again with us, with the PBC. We're not gonna give you this payday and then you fucking
then
walk
you
away and
bye-bye.
go to on HBO. So yeah, I'm sure there's like an agreement where Mikey Garcia will fight again with the PBC on Showtime or some other fucking.
But you know, since you want to talk about Al Heyman, I wanted to say that he was around, because I think people already forgot a little bit of the eras that happened before, I would say 2010. Jermaine Taylor was with Lou DiBella
Yeah.
when his career started in 2000 or maybe the middle of 2000 after the Olympics, the Sydney Olympics, or maybe in 2001, I forget, but he started at that period, and HBO really pushed him as the next big middleweight great or star. And he was on HBO a bunch of times.
Emmanuel Stewart and everything.
What?
Jermaine Taylor.
What about him?
He had Emmanuel Stewart.
No. He didn't have Emmanuel. He had Emmanuel Stewart after he beat Hopkins, but before that.
Oh, before. Sorry.
Yeah, before. No, he started.
Sorry. I was thinking.
When he started his career, he was being put on ESPN, HBO.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the Hopkins fight came relatively quickly in his career. I mean, I know it's 5 years. No, 5 years would be kind of standard. But if you look at his opposition, you didn't really get the sense that he was ready for Hopkins.
I
And
still remember Lou DiBella crying. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
But he ended up creating the benefit of a fight that was close enough so that the judges gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
2 fights.
Yeah.
So he was talented enough. But if you look at the crowd in his early fights, even a little bit pre-Hopkins, Al Heyman was sitting there. So Al Heyman had already dipped his toes into boxing, and I'm thinking, now that I'm in hindsight, was Lou DiBella, who at that time he started promoting, I think in 2000 or late 90s, after he left HBO.
Yeah.
And he always talked about in interviews about how he wanted to change the sport. He wanted to be a different type of promoter, one who had a more close relationship.
Promoter doesn't work.
One who had a closer relationship with his fighters.
Yeah.
And you could, if you read his interviews throughout time, you could start seeing that he started to become a little bit more of a realist. There was even at one point he said, well, I've relegated myself to the fact that I can't change boxing. I can only work within its parameters as best as I can. And now you look at him; he's essentially working for Al Heyman now.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, what
There's
the hell
no
happened?
parameters. He's like,
Yeah, exactly. There are no parameters. But it's interesting because Al Heyman had Jermaine Taylor, and I'm thinking, Lampley was very biased with Jermaine Taylor. He loved Jermaine Taylor, which is proof that, when people say, "Oh, Jim Lampley is racist," Jim Lampley is not racist.
No.
He obeys orders. They tell him who he should favor, and he's gonna do it. I mean, obviously, I don't know if that's how it works, but it's
a racist bullshit.
Yeah, the racist thing doesn't fly with Jim Lampley. Lampley is not a racist.
Well, okay.
But and then just to continue saying, so I think it was actually, I wonder how much influence Al Heyman had in getting his fighters on HBO, and that's when, and then the Mayweather thing happened, right? He became mainstream in 2007. And
talking about Berto.
Oh, Berto too, yeah. Berto, who had a bunch of fights on HBO, and he kept getting fights against Juan Urango, and at least 2 fights, Jan Zavek, I think it was, and another European guy, and you're thinking, why are these fights taking place on HBO? And he fights Louis Colas in 2009. It's a tough, close fight. He gets the nod over it. So there was a lot of favoritism there towards Paul Williams too, fighting on HBO. That was late 2000s. That was, I'm talking 2008, 2009. But what I'm trying to get at is, what happened with Al Heyman was that he started getting his fighters paid, and a lot of his fighters on HBO. So maybe that's when it started with him, the whole thing about, I'm getting my fighters here on HBO. I can start my own promotional outfit, but it's not the same thing because he was steering his fighters onto HBO. He was getting them paid, but it's a whole other business starting your own promotion. I think that's where the disconnect was in reality with him. He thought that based off of the success that he was having getting his fighters on HBO, that he was going to be able to translate that into a promotional company. That's just not how it works. Alright, we got a comment from Narbi, how would you spell that? Narbled. He's saying BoxRec has Billy Joe Saunders versus Willie Monroe Jr. listed for September. Did I miss something, or is that a mistake? I don't even know. Sometimes they announce this fight so quickly.
I heard that, and I also heard that it was gonna be people were saying, "Oh, he's gonna be on the Canelo Triple G undercard." I don't think so. Well, maybe, but I doubt it.
Maybe they would explain why Billy Joe Saunders was at one of the press conferences.
No, I think that fight's gonna happen for sure.
That's a good.
Who the fuck knows? We don't have it. We don't know.
Unless Billy Joe Saunders comes in shape and actually shows some real skill or consistency, I think Willie Monroe takes that fight.
No, I think Joe Saunders wins, man. He has a lot of hand speed, though. No, but yeah, but Billy Joe Saunders has to fucking really take this seriously because what was his last fight? When he fought a bum or something? I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like...
He was some unknown European guy, and he actually gave him a very, very tough fight. So much so that some people actually thought that
he
should have lost.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get another beer, man.
Yeah, why don't you do that? But yeah, guys, if you take a look at the PBC history, it didn't start with the PBC. The Al Heyman saga didn't start with the PBC. It started way before that. And if you might recall correctly, there was at one point Steve King was calling HBO and other people, not just Steve Kim, I think, but some people were calling it the Heyman Boxing Office or whatever the fuck network, because he was getting a lot of his fighters in there. And this is the thing, Al Heyman has a lot of the reputation that he's a very good manager or advisor or whatever, based on what happened with Floyd Mayweather. But then some other people say, well, no, Floyd Mayweather's a great businessman, that's why he's rich. Well, then which one is it? Is it Al Heyman that made his career, or is it Floyd Mayweather that made it by himself? Yes, there might have been also the third answer, which is that it was both of them that came together and created so much money, but I don't know. It's Mayweather had, I remember reading an article in 2004 when Mayweather beat Chop Chop Corley that he was trying to be a big name back then. In the early 2000s, Mayweather was trying to get a fight with De La Hoya. This was that when De La Hoya, I think, was about to fight at 154 or had already fought at 154 for the first time. So Mayweather was calling De La Hoya out even then. Even he had called out Trinidad before Trinidad fought Hopkins. So he wanted to become a big name even back then. And it took another 7 years before he finally made it into the mainstream. I don't know when Al Heyman started guiding or advising him, but it's clear that Al Heyman is not the guy, the boxing genius that he's thought to be or made out to be. Yes, he can get his fighters paid, but
he's a genius because he got all this money.
And he had he
That's
got his
it, man.
well, because also he guided
in the music industry shit.
he did guide guys like Paul Williams and Berto and Mayweather onto HBO. But that's what I was saying earlier. Just because you were able to glide your fighters and squeeze them into HBO and get them paid for fights that didn't really quite deserve that amount of money, it's one thing to do that. It's a completely different thing to create your own promotional outfit.
because you need to promote,
rival HBO.
develop talent. He has no height for developing talent or buying fighters that.
The only guy maybe would be Earl Spence.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's all guys that he poaches from Golden Boy Promotions.
Yeah.
So
And then now he's trying to get that Mikey Garcia, an already established fighter.
and
He didn't create Mikey Garcia. He didn't promote him till to the point where he is right now. So let me tell you, Al Heyman is fucking overrated.
And it didn't quite work out either with Chavez Jr. Remember?
Yeah, no, that was yeah.
That was
No, they
another
were
one
trying to
with
get a big Mexican name there to get to win some Mexican fans. Didn't work out.
Now speaking of Mikey Garcia, that's a fight that I'm quite interested in, and because a lot of people, first of all, I don't know if you saw, but they had that on I think it's ESPN in Espanol or one of those. They had Mikey Garcia and Broner as a guest.
Didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Well, first of all, Garcia, he speaks Spanish, so he's in there, he's in his element. And Chavez, Julio Chavez and some
Senior,
girl,
yeah.
Chavez Senior,
Obviously, well,
and some girl, news anchor, I forget, I don't know what the name is, but they're interviewing both of them, and Broner. The telecast starts and he says, welcome, we're here with Mikey Garcia and Adrian Broner, who will be squaring off, and then they show a shot of both guys. And Mikey Garcia, he's like a little bit of a deadpan face. He's
Yeah.
and then you see Broner, he's got sunglasses and he's just smiling, like that classic Adrian Broner smile that's like, I don't know what I'm doing or whatever. He seems so out of place. And I was watching Julio Chavez, looking at him, and Chavez, who's from, I think he lives in Sonora or something.
now?
I don't know where. I mean, but he comes from that province of Mexico, where that state of Mexico, I should say, where it's just
Well, he was born there, but he lives in Michoacan.
Culiacan. Okay,
Yeah.
Well, it's just infested with a
Sinaloa,
bunch of
fuck.
Sinaloa, or I think he was born in Culiacan. Whatever. He comes from that place where a bunch of drug dealers, and narco corridos and all that. And he's looking at Adrian Broner. I'm pretty sure he's thinking, who the fuck is this guy? Because it's the cultural differences.
Yeah.
But anyway, Adrian Broner looked at the place. Another thing that Adrian Broner keeps saying, if I'm talking too quickly, tell me, man. But they're saying that Adrian Broner now is talking about how he's a 5-1 or 6-1 underdog, and he doesn't like that. But he seems also to have, I don't know, it's interesting, man. He's not talking trash, and I would have expected all that much. I think he did say something about the Garcias, I think, but he's essentially saying, oh, well, why am I the underdog? And I think he's gonna come into this fight he's taking this fight
I
seriously.
think he's taking it seriously. I've seen some videos of Broner training, and he looks in shape and shit but still he thinks he's gonna lose because he's not that fucking good. But he's taking this fight seriously because he also understands that if he loses this fight, it's not over obviously, but it really takes he will take a big hit, man, because he's losing to a guy who's moving up in weight. It would be Broner's third loss against a top guy. His stock would really go fucking down from that point on, like, if he loses to Mikey Garcia.
Well, also depending on how he loses. Right?
Any type of fucking loss, man.
Well, look,
Unless it's a close fight.
as long as he's getting paid.
I want my fucking money!
But what I'm saying is, I don't think that he's. First of all, let's analyze this fight a little bit. Adrian Broner, a lot of people. It's interesting because he's essentially complaining about how people are writing him off. And I know a lot of people out there, and I've read the comments of people saying, "Well, he should be being written off because he's a loser. He sucks." Let's back up for a moment.
Okay.
Let's look at this from an unbiased perspective, right? Let's be really real about this. Adrian Broner is a big guy, bigger than Garcia.
Yes, naturally.
He's
bigger.
junior welterweight. Started junior welterweight and welterweight. Now he's a welterweight.
Who, Broner?
Yeah, Broner.
Started at lightweight, no?
Did he? Oh yeah, you're right.
No,
You're right.
Actually, he fought at junior lightweight as well, man.
Did he fight?
Ponce de Leon was at 130, no?
No, I think that was a 135. 135, and he skipped junior welterweight, and then after the Maidana loss, he's been fighting back and forth between welterweight and junior welterweight. But here's the thing.
Not at 140.
Oh, okay, like the catchweights, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying here is that he's more accustomed to the weight, which could be a factor into the fight. He's also not that easy to hit. The guys that have been beaten him so far was Maidana, who threw himself at Broner, and Sean Porter, who also threw himself at him, and really didn't. I've been watching. I watched that fight again, the Broner Porter fight, and then if you watch Porter versus Berto, I'm thinking Porter couldn't do that to Broner. So Broner does know how to nullify a guy's game. He's not gonna get beat up there by anybody. Even he got beat up against Maidana. I think he said on Twitter, Broner did, that he was pissing blood afterwards. So he did take some punishment in that fight, but he also gave some punishment back. So what I'm saying is, so far, no one has been able to decisively beat Broner. Now, I know some people are gonna say, well, the guy to do it is Mikey Garcia, because he does really seem like he's a special fighter. Well, like I said, Broner is bigger. He knows how to nullify a guy's game. He's been boxing since he was a kid, and I think he's got something like 300 amateur fights.
Yeah.
So he's no dummy in there.
No.
Also, he's pretty good on the inside. He's more of a pressure fighter, and I know I've told you this before, that he's more of an inside fighter than he's an outside fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think Marquis Garcia could outbox him, which would be on the outside. But even on the outside, Broner has a good way of rolling with the right hands, against the right hands. The thing that's really gonna make the difference in this fight for Garcia is gonna be the jab.
I was gonna say that shit. Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's gonna be as easy a fight for Garcia as people are thinking.
I think we're gonna see a better Broner, because first of all, I don't even think Broner is a 147, a natural 147 pounder. He just looks too bulky, man. And at 140, I think it's the ideal weight for Adrian Broner. And if he actually makes the weight and doesn't drain himself to death, then I think we're gonna see a pretty good, strong Adrian Broner that we haven't seen in a while. But I do still think that Mikey Garcia just is a better overall boxer, better jab, and I think, like you said, that jab is gonna be the key here. And I don't see Broner really slick.
He's a completely as defensive genius. He's
Exactly. The jab's gonna get it. He's trying to do the shoulder roll against the jab's gonna fucking land anyways.
He's a better defensive fighter than most, but he can be hit. Remember that last fight against Granados? Adrian Granados, and Granados came in
looking sharp. Fight for fucking Broner, man.
Yeah, he actually won it on the inside, and on the outside he sort of nullified Granados' right hand a little bit, but he got hit. Let's not make it out to be like
he got hit by Granados, and Mikey Garcia, whatever. He's moving up in weight, but he's sharp. He's fucking sharp, man. I love his fucking style, man. It's a bit like a Marquez thing, and even Morales precision kind of thing. So, like I said, Broner is not Mayweather. He can do the shoulder roll. He shouldn't even be trying to do the shoulder roll. He's gonna get hit with that fucking jab.
Yeah, I think the jab is gonna be the key. And now that I think about it, I'm wondering how much of a weight advantage is gonna be, because Mikey Garcia, who remember, he had trouble making weight also before, so maybe 147 or whatever weight they're gonna be fighting at.
140, no.
It's gonna be 140, so maybe that's gonna benefit him.
I always assumed, why would Mikey Garcia go all the way to 140, man?
Well, check it out, because if it's at 140 or 147 or whatever, the fight that Mikey Garcia is a big dude himself, might not affect him all that much going up in weight. It might not affect him negatively. It might be
If somebody knows the answer.
Yeah, if somebody knows the answer, start fucking talking. I also want to remind people that this is a BDA Box live transmission. If you want to join us, you can contact us and talk to us to Google Hangouts. So you can contact us at boxingdebate@hotmail.com. We'll invite you over to the Google Hangout, and you can tell us what you think. You can tell the people out there what it is that's on your mind and what you want to say, and express yourself, because that's what we do here, right?
Absolutely.
At the BDA headquarters, we want people to talk.
The Mikey Garcia Broner fight is set to be taking place at 140 pounds.
140.
And every pound over the weight limit there will be a penalty of $500,000.
Now, $500,000 to me, that's peanuts.
Isn't that the whole purse of? How much are they getting anyways?
That's a good point.
Like
huh?
$1 million, $2 million. Anyways, I don't know. But yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both of these guys, Garcia and Broner, have missed weight before. Broner missed it against Vicente Escobedo. That was before when he was still undefeated. Broner, that is. And Garcia has missed it, what, 2 times now? I know he missed it against Juan Manuel Lopez, right? And then there was another fight. Which one was it? Isn't it twice that he missed the weight? You don't remember? Just say yes or no. Just don't stand there looking at it
I'm
forward.
thinking, man.
I think he missed. Well, anyway, at least once, right? So both of these guys, I understand the clause for missing weight. I don't think it's just for Mikey Garcia. It might be for Broner as well.
I don't even think it's for Mikey Garcia. It's
No, well, that's what I assumed at first. I thought that it was for Mikey Garcia.
why would you assume that? He's the one
'Cause-
moving up in weight, and the other times it was a featherweight in 130, man. Like
I know, but because he's missed weight at least once. I know. But then again, so has
bullshit.
Broner, so.
Bullshit. Let's go. Let's talk about a subject where I can fucking rant. We already talked about the fucking PBC,
Right.
which is a fucking joke.
How about Mayweather McGregor? You want to talk about that? Because I know you said you don't like talking about it, but then at the same time you do, because you have a lot to disparage about that.
That fucking fight. That fight, the McGregor Mayweather circus. The only people that are excited about this piece of shit are non-combat sport fans, people who don't know shit
Chain
about boxing or
snatcher.
MMA.
Jive ass, Monaco motherfuckers.
And we also have people who are MMA fans,
Yeah.
who think that boxing is it's just you just throw punches. You know, we do that in MMA. Fighters in MMA know how to throw punches. They can hang in there with a fucking professional boxer. And this is the mentality that results in shitty fucking MMA striking fights. Have you seen how these the majority of MMA fighters throw punches like not even amateur level, like more like a bar fight level? They swing, no defense. They throw a punch and their hands completely low. Their hands are low all the time. To be honest, it's just a fucking joke. Yeah, and McGregor, yes, he's one of the best strikers in MMA, but still, that doesn't. You cannot compete with a professional boxer. But like I said, these MMA fans, sorry, they have this perception of boxing as just being like a simple sport,
I know, man, and people,
simplistic. Like you can master it in a few months.
Stop lying to the fans! Stop lying to the fans and be real!
People are saying, it's a money grab, and I know people in my gym that are saying, I'm gonna watch the fight just to see what happens. Just to see. That's the whole selling point of this fight, just to see what happens, and maybe also the build up that the guy's gonna be trash talking. That's why this is another fight you could rant about, but me, I don't really
It's
have much to say.
I'm gonna watch a fucking guy eat 100 hot dogs, see what happens. Like, I don't want to see that shit.
Actually, that's
It's
fucking
disgusting.
fun, man.
No, I don't want
Yeah, because when they start throwing up and everything.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
Or did you remember that Japanese guy that he was barred from the event, and he tried sneaking in and eating hot dogs, and then they threw him out while he's still eating hot.
What the fuck is talking about? Yeah, the skinny guy who beat all the fat guys in the US or some shit. Anyways, point is, man, only weirdos wanna watch this fucking circus, man. Or people who don't understand boxing, what it encompasses. To be a great boxer, it's not only throwing punches. My fucking god, these MMA fighters, man. I'll just hit the pads, for a few minutes. Then I'm ready to strike. Oh, I have like 10 knockouts in the UFC. I'm ready. I have punching power. My god, Maidana has punching power. Victor Ortiz has punching power. All these fighters that couldn't beat Mayweather, they all had punching power, way more punching power than a lot of these MMA fighters. It's not about punching power and he might land that one punch. My god, imagine fucking, let's put Salka against Mayweather, Rod Salka, and let's go it's a shitty fight, but Rod Salka, you never know, he might land that one punch. Fuck off, man.
Yeah, it's exactly very good.
Jesus Christ.
Very good logic there, because like I said, it's all about the what if. That's all it's based on, and I think after 3 rounds people are gonna realize
it's a fucking joke.
It's a joke, and it's not gonna happen.
Have you guys seen McGregor fucking shadow boxing? It's funny as hell, man. It's like fucking modern dancing or that weird shit where they do, you know,
Modern
like
dancing?
Yeah, like those weirdo dancing and shit. Like that's how it looks like. Like he
What
looks
the
like
fuck are you talking? What's modern dancing, man?
yeah, they on
Oh, modern art.
modern artistic dance. I don't know what it's called, man. They're on the floor and doing all these weird movements. That's what like McGregor looks like. He looks like that. He's doing some dancing, the modern weird dance.
Yeah. But then that's the other thing about this fight is that it's a money grab, man. And you know, going to about the MMA fighters. It's the same thing when James Toney fought Randy Couture. The whole selling point about that was that, hey, what happens if James Toney catches him or something? Well, it didn't happen.
Yeah. No,
And
it
it's
was
not gonna
fat
happen.
as fuck, man.
Yeah, and this time it's not going to happen either. And as for MMA fighters not being good strikers, they're learning now, a lot of these guys, that because it's interesting. People think, oh, kickboxing, you know, it's got the word boxing in there.
Yeah.
So they think
Definitely.
that kickboxers are equally as good with their hands as they are with their feet. But if you talk to a lot of kickboxers, their main weapon really are the kicks. Now, if you look at professional kickboxing, the good ones know how to use their hands. But it's the reason. That's the reason, or one of the reasons why they're so superior to the other guys is because of that ability to mix in the hands with the kicks.
Yeah.
It seems to me when I watch kickboxing that a lot of these guys are only using the hands to set up the kicks.
Yeah.
And not the other, the other way around, or vice versa. And then the MMA, of course, they still had that kickboxing thing, and it was all because of the early UFC when Royce Gracie was putting everybody down, and then the wrestlers, the big wrestlers like Mark Coleman and Mark Carey came along and started dropping everybody. That's when it started. When people said, striking doesn't
work.
It doesn't work. But then we've started seeing the evolution of MMA.
Yeah.
And it's going back to
Well, because people started learning how to prevent takedowns, defend the takedown.
But that's the thing about MMA. You have to be good at everything, and that's why a lot of these guys, they can't master
I
everything.
am a writer, a doctor, a nuclear physicist, a theoretical philosopher.
Yeah, it's
But above all, I am a man.
That's right.
it's like in the Olympics, you have the 100-meter dash thing, right? You also have the decathlon. Yeah, you do 10 disciplines. 100 meters, I think it's 400 meters, whatever, throwing the javelin. Obviously, the guy who does the decathlon, who's a decathlon participant, he can't master
A decathlonian?
decathlonian.
No, I don't even know that's right.
He can't master all 10 disciplines, all
No, he
10
can't,
sports. But he can do all of those 10. But then now put him against Usain Bolt, the 100-meter Olympic champion,
No, he won't.
the fastest guy in the world. Can he beat Usain Bolt?
No.
Absolutely not. Well, let's see what happens. Like, I don't want to see what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with this fight. It's like MMAs are guys who try to do everything. MMA fighters.
These beers, man.
Yeah, MMA fighters are people who try to do everything at the same try to learn every discipline and master every discipline, but they cannot master every discipline because it's impossible. It's like that decathlon guy. He will never break a 100-meter record. But he can throw the javelin as well. He can do all these disciplines. Same thing with MMA fighters. But there's no way in fucking hell that a decathlonist, what do you call it? Decathlonian
Decathlonian, yeah.
can beat Usain Bolt in a 100-meter dash. Simple as fucking that, man.
I don't even know if it's
fucking that,
decathlonian.
man.
But listen, I think we've spoken enough about this fucking fight, man. I do want to talk about what we're gonna do instead of watching that fight. I know what I'm gonna do.
What?
I'm not gonna watch the fight.
I'm not gonna watch the fight. I'm gonna make a fucking statement and not watch that fucking fight.
Didn't you want to go out drinking, and then that's sort of like that's a statement, right?
I'm gonna fucking drink and then go to bars and curse at people for watching that shit fight, man.
Say in other words what you usually always do. No, usually you scream at people, at interracial couples, instead of...
Oh yeah, of course. No, but seriously, that's gonna be a
Little fucking spick bastard.
shitty event.
Hey, listen. I tell you what's not going to be a shitty event. The Mikey Garcia-Broner fight. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one.
No, we have another good fight, man. If I look at the PBC schedule,
Oh, wait, on the PBC.
we have Flores Figueroa.
Avalos.
Flores Figueroa Guerrero, man.
Right? And then Flores Avalos.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, that's the only one. Now, we also have the September HBO card. I think it was the week before. It's going to be the week before the mega fight, the Canelo Golovkin mega fight. we're gonna have Roman Gonzalez rematching Son Vorompai or whatever his name is. I can't pronounce his name. Sorry.
Can I just say something?
You certainly can. Go ahead.
On the PBC website, it says, "Looking for a fight tonight? PBC brings the world's most exciting fights live to your TV on CBS, Fox, Fox Sports 1, Showtime, ESPN, and Bounce. Don't miss a single fight night." What the fuck? On ESPN? Well, I don't see an ESPN fight schedule here. Do you see an ESPN PBC fight?
If you go on ESPN boxing schedule, they might have that information for you.
It
but
also says CBS. I don't see a fucking CBS schedule.
It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen in August and September and October. You're worrying too much about this. They're gonna have some dates. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, the PBC is gonna just... It's gonna be fine, man.
It's gonna fix itself. Don't worry about it. Now, I also wanted to talk about that, like I was saying, Roman Gonzalez versus Son Vorompai. What's his name again? I can't spell it, man. I'm not even gonna try. But that Thai guy.
Yeah, let's go on.
The Thai guy who beat him, and I'm saying this with quotation marks around the beat him. It was a good fight. Hey, listen, the Thai guy gave him Gonzalez a good fight, and I think it can't go any other way than to be another slugfest. It's gonna be another slugfest. And also we have Cuadras versus Juan Francisco Estrada, El Gallito, one of my favorite fighters.
That's gonna be fine. Good
And one of the most underrated fighters. That's the worst thing about it.
Cuadras?
No, Estrada.
Estrada, yeah.
Juan
Whoa,
Francisco.
is he underrated? Why? Who underrates him?
Because nobody knows about him. That's why he's underrated.
Really?
That's right. Everybody's always talking about Inoue.
Well, everybody wanted the Chocolatito Estrada fight though.
Yeah,
the
but then
rematch.
HBO started advocating more for Gonzalez versus Inoue, and that's how the whole thing happened. And then he fought the Thai guy, and the Thai guy beat Gonzalez. What's the other fight on that date? There's a third fight, right? Check it out. But yeah, it's gonna be a sensational card. This is what HBO Boxing After Dark should be all about. Not mismatches or boring fights. We want to see competitive fights, and if you want competitive fights and you want to poach from a weight, this type of fights that most people don't know about, you go to the lower weight divisions. That's how Boxing After Dark started. That's what it was supposed
Was
to be.
Lemieux Stevens on
Boxing After
After Dark? Yeah, that was a perfect After Dark.
And it delivered. Short, but hey, knockout sensation.
Cuadras, Estrada, Inoue, Nieves.
Oh, Inoue, so he's gonna be making
Yeah,
his
yeah,
debut.
yeah.
I always forget the 3 fights for that. Yeah.
Oh, didn't make sense. Now,
And-
what's the fight? Who's gonna fight who after that, though? That's what I'm.
It's a little bit of
I'm sure it's it's Gonzalez against Inoue,
I think that's the most because Inoue has that
Yeah.
hype behind him,
and then Cuadras gonna fight the winner of. Well, he's just gonna wait and then fight the winner of Inoue Gonzalez.
yeah. But Strada, the last fight I saw him of his, he was actually sitting down on his punches more. He looked slower at the beginning, and he got hit a couple of times in the beginning. I was like, oh fuck, what's going on here? Has he lost it? And then he started letting his body punches go, and man, this guy, I think he's sitting down more of his punches. That's why he looked a little slow, and he's probably thinking that if he's gonna beat Gonzalez, he's gonna have to do it with power. He already has a position. He hit Gonzalez a bunch of times when they fought, but I'm just not sure how much. He did have a bit of a layoff because of an injury, so I don't know how fit he is. And Cuadras, you know how he fights. He moves in and out,
Yeah.
throws a lot of punches. Sometimes he seems like he's slapping with him, but nevertheless they keep the other guy busy and on the defensive. So I don't know who's gonna win that fight. I don't know if it's Strada or Cuadras.
I'm going for Estrada.
You mean you think he's gonna win?
Yeah, I think. Doesn't Gonzalez cut easily though?
Gonzalez.
Sorry, Cuadras.
He has suffered a couple of cuts
Yeah.
in the past.
I would say a cut.
And then his last fight,
It's gonna be a brawl though. I don't see like any.
Estrada's fucking nuts too. By the way, he's
Yeah,
a boxer,
exactly.
but
he likes to brawl, man.
that's the thing about Estrada is he's a smart fight. He's got a smart style, in and out, a lot of punching, a lot of activity, but he also he's willing to stay in there sometimes and throw 6 punch combinations, even if he's gonna get hit. But he wants to get some punches landed on the other guy and to hurt him. He's not throwing one shot at a time, and then moving around.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have in the schedule here?
Well, while you're checking out the schedule, I'm just gonna tell the people that you can join us through Google Hangouts at boxingdebate@hotmail.com. Come join us on Google Hangout, and if you want to speak to the masses, we are going to give you that platform. Go ahead, say whatever you want to say, whatever's on your mind, boxing related, or even if it doesn't have anything to do with boxing, we'll let you talk. Why not? You know, it's the boxing debate arena. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Many people don't know how to do this shit, though. Like, so
yeah, you send us. You send us an email to boxingdebate@hotmail.com, which is written in the green letters at the bottom of the screen that you're seeing on YouTube, the left bottom screen. You message us at boxingdebate@hotmail. Give us your email address. We invite you over to the Google Hangouts, and you can talk with us. Hey, if you don't want to talk to us, we'll just keep rambling on about everything that's going on, not just in boxing, but in the world as well. Am I right, King Goolge?
absolutely. There's always shit to talk about.
There's never a shortage. It's just a question of figuring out what the next subject is. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I say we start talking about Golovkin and Canelo, man.
You know, I wanted to save that.
Oh, there's nothing to save, man. There's always shit to talk about.
I agree.
Jesus Christ, man.
What? What's? You don't have a problem with that fight, do you? Because you have a problem with everything.
I actually don't have a problem with that fight.
Just to confirm, yeah, Billy Joe Saunders to fight Willie Monroe Jr. at 9/16
In London.
In London. So it's gonna be
London.
So September the 16th. So you're gonna have a full day of boxing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's gonna be fucking amazing, man.
You watch that fight at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and then you head on
East
over.
Coast, obviously.
East Coast, obviously, and then you head on over to your local bar, or maybe you order the fight at home, and you watch the mega fight between Canelo and Golovkin. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice little day there. I also see the Santa Cruz is about to fight Maris again
Oh.
on October the 7th at Staples Center. How excited are you for that fight? Because I think
I'm not
everything.
excited at all, man. Like, at least give us Frampton, Santa Cruz, you know. But that third fight.
Yeah, 35. I would.
Imagine if they make it in. They're making in Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, holy shit, you know, third fight's happening and Santa Cruz has to go on hostile territory. That would have been, you know, something to talk about.
Right. But
now we're talking about Maris against Santa Cruz again.
Give me all you got!
Listen,
Give me all you got!
Maris didn't do fucking shit. Well, I mean, he tried. He lost a fight. I don't see anything different. Hey, by the way, Abner Maris is not a fucking featherweight. Can he get that through his head, man? Obviously, the money's at featherweight for him, but he's not a featherweight. Physically, you look at Maris, man. He's a 122-pounder max, man. He looks too bulky at 126. He's too short.
And he's not a big puncher.
He's 5'4", man. It's like exactly. It's not like he's a super power puncher. He's a volume puncher.
Not even that, man.
And he has to get inside, and he's too small. And then Santa Cruz was like fucking 5'8" or something.
I think the people should get into their heads also. Is that you said, well, Maris is a volume puncher. He's not even really that.
What is
he gets tired, man. In every tough fight that I've seen.
No, but he's trying.
Okay, I know what you mean. Yeah,
he fights like a volume puncher. But you know, like when you say like, oh, that guy's a volume puncher, you immediately assume, well, he has a lot of stamina because he has to keep it consistent. Abner Maris is a volume puncher, but he shouldn't even be a volume puncher because, like you said, he doesn't have the stamina. So completely wrong style, completely wrong weight division. He's a fucking mess, man. He should have been at 120. He should have stayed at 118, fuck, or something.
I can still remember when he was undefeated and the Donaire was undefeated too, and there was talk about, you know, when are both of these guys gonna fight? Because you know the Maris was with Golden Boy and Donaire was with Top Rank, and that was one of the. It's interesting how things change in boxing. The fight that you thought back then, or that everybody thought was gonna be the mega fight or the lower weights. And then 6 years later, would you watch Maris Donaire fight? I mean, you know, I would watch it. What I'm saying is how things change, and it's true. Maris should go down to at least, because I don't think he can be 118 again.
No, 122.
122.
And fight Rigonda or something.
Now, some people are saying, well, Santa Cruz lost against Frampton, and then made a lot of good adjustments and was able to beat him.
Yeah.
But Maris, I just don't see him unless he somehow becomes more active. Because in the first fight against, because in the first fight against Santa Cruz, Maris jumped on him
Yeah.
and tried to put pressure and really tried. And then he got tired, and Santa Cruz figured him out and actually outboxed him.
Now, yeah. And let's and in that fight, Mares against Santa Cruz actually, he was fighting on the inside. He loves it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if Santa Cruz decides to fight differently in the rematch? What if he decides to fight Mares like he fought Frampton the second time?
That's how he fought Maris the first time.
No, but there was also a lot of exchanges on the inside, like
That's
more than against Frampton the second time. I'm saying he's like, let's assume that let's imagine that Santa Cruz decides to fight on the outside, like completely on the outside, more jab and not getting to all those exchanges. It might be a fucking boring night. I can see Mares just getting outboxed.
Well, the first fight wasn't even that.
But there were some flurries. Let's say there's less flurries and Santa Cruz just starts cruising it. It might be a boring event. Another PBC disappointment. We don't even want to see this fight to begin with. But I don't know what the fuck Al-Haim is thinking. Maybe it has to do with money. Maybe Cal Frampton against Santa Cruz would demand more money. So he's like, well, I'm kind of running out of money here. I'll make Mares Santa Cruz too because it's cheaper for me.
And it's taking place at the Staples Center, and it's two people with Mexican fan base. So it's gonna be good business.
Yeah.
Oh, it should. I don't know if it is. I don't really know how many.
But Mares is for sure taking less money than Frampton, man.
Oh yeah, he should. Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And also we have, just looking at the boxing scene here, Anthony Durrell. He's Anthony, not Andre Durrell. Anthony, the one who lost to Badu Jack. He's gonna be fighting David Benavides. They're gonna be fighting in Los Angeles, California on September the 9th. That's gonna be a good fight, man. We have I don't know if you know who David Benavides is, but he beat the crap out of Rogelio Porky Medina a couple of 2 months ago, a little less than 2 months ago. So now Anthony Durrell, who does have power on his fists and he does have hand speed, he's gonna be fighting this guy, David Benavides, who's an inside fighter, tall. He knows how to find an inside. He's got power, and that combination that he landed against Medina to put him down, I mean, that was just tremendous. So we're gonna see. That's a good fight right there. But I don't know what channel that's gonna be on. Gonna have to check that out. Let's see if they give us any. It's for the WBC title. Do people really still care about titles? I know boxers do. But fans, I mean, well, it just says Al-Haim is going to be part of Al-Haiman's Premier Boxing Champions.
PBC. When?
September 9th. Right. But I'm trying to look at where which network the fight's going to be in, a broadcast on, and I can't find it.
Do you have anything for August, the PBC? Because they have all these fighters. Shouldn't they be having fights in August?
Well, they should, but I mean, are they going to? They're gonna probably announce that at the end of July, you know.
Mikey Garcia, I'm ready to do an all-out attack on Adrian Broner.
He's not gonna do anything.
He's not gonna do that shit. He's just trying to bait Broner or something.
Now look at that. What he's saying. Sullivan Barrera, I assume it's Sullivan Barrera, saying Ward hits low on purpose. Kovalev didn't react right. That's what I'm saying. Kovalev screwed. Listen, okay. Andrew Ward is hitting him low.
Yeah. I would fucking hit Ward low immediately.
Exactly. Or at least, once you see that the ref isn't going to do anything about it, I don't understand why he doubled over. You know, if a guy's hitting you and the ref isn't doing anything about it, and then you double over, the ref is going to assume it's from the legal punches. You know what I mean? Because he thinks they're legal either way.
Yeah.
So why not?
No, okay, I'll tell you this. Man, remember after the Trinidad Vargas fight? Trinidad was known for hitting below the belt and shit when he was in trouble. Then I remember when Trinidad fought William Joppy. Well, before the fight, they asked Joppy, like, what do you think about, are you concerned about Trinidad low blows tactics and shit like that? And then William Joppy goes like, oh yeah, well, if he hits me below the belt, I'm gonna hit him back. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then when Trinidad fought Hopkins, Bernard Hopkins was asked, well, are you concerned about Tito Trinidad's low blow, blah, blah, blah. And then Bernard Hopkins is like, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna hit him in the balls first. Yes, he wasn't waiting for Trinidad to hit him blow. That's how you fight dirty fighters. you become a dirty fighter.
Exactly. There's
And
no
you let
mercy
them
there.
know, like, you know what, you want to pull this shit off right now? Okay, we'll play that game.
Yeah.
That's what Kovalev should have done.
But he's not
then
that.
again, Kovalev was, all the odds were stacked against him. The judges, the location, the referee. You know, he was labeled a racist. So, you know, why would you support a racist, right? Like, this whole campaign of bullshit was steered before the fight. I was just very disappointed. But like, yeah, you're right. Kovalev should have done something else. Like, hit him in the balls, because he was complaining, but Richard Steele wasn't listening. He didn't either.
Richard Steele.
Tony Weeks. He wasn't listening, man. He wasn't gonna listen. So at some point, you gotta understand, like, well, this guy's not on my side. This guy's not watching the right fight. I gotta take matters into my own hands.
Yeah, that's what he
Complaining
should've done.
wasn't working the first time. It's not gonna, work the second, third, fourth, fifth time.
Exactly, but I know it's hard to do it in the heat of the moment to think straight. But that's why I always advocate for guys, for fighters, for boxers, to learn the finer art of dirty fighting, because you never know when you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Now some
you
people
gotta learn it, man.
some people look at prize fighting as a serious war. It's like you gotta. Some people go in there and they're dirty right away. There's no such thing as mercy. There's no such thing as dignity. It's boxing. On the other hand, like I said, you should at least know how to do it, because look, when Hopkins fought Trinidad, you mentioned that fight. Hopkins was the one being dirty. He's even dirtier than Trinidad, and he showed it against Trinidad. He was hitting him on the thighs, hitting after the bell, way after the bell.
Oh yeah.
And but see, he's, because Hopkins has that same mentality of, this is survival, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. Now some other guys are very, how should I say, they're very clean, you know, like Mosley and Pacquiao, you know, they never want to be dirty. They're always touching gloves after something happens or everything. And you know, it's a big, there's different types of fighters out there, but you should know how to fight dirty for when you encounter a real fucking asshole.
Yeah.
in
Now
there.
you're not saying that you should fight dirty.
No. Well, I mean, a little bit too.
Because then Hopkins, when he was old, especially when he was getting older and he was losing his athletic abilities, he started becoming like a dirty motherfucker.
Yeah,
man.
he was always a dirty. He's just he became more pronounced.
Because he's like, well, there's no way I can survive fighting cleanly, so
Right.
I really have to start getting dirty here.
Man, how many
and that's
people
when I
did
started going like, Hopkins, you're fucking disgusting. And then he was like the brother Nassim there, which, by the way, this guy's dirty as fuck.
You mean dirty as in he doesn't shower, or you?
No, you know what I mean. It's this video that I saw by Precise Presenter.
Why did he shut down his
I
channel?
don't know,
We were
man.
to
He had
find
this
out?
amazing video about fucking he was exposing
It sounded
Curtis
like
Stevens.
he said about butt fucking.
No,
That's
he was exposing Curtis Stevens.
Mhm.
Is it Curtis Stevens?
No, it was Steve Cunningham.
Yeah, Steve Cunningham. How he was using his thumb. He was cutting the. I don't know how to explain it. Do you have the boxing glove?
I'll explain it.
Yeah.
He was being accused, or Precise Presenter was accusing Cunningham and his trainer Rasim Richardson of tampering with the gloves, so that they would they would do, they were cutting off, separating the thumb from the rest of the glove, which is how the gloves were manufactured way back in the day, and that's why you had a lot of accidents of people thumbing each other, or actually doing it also on purpose.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you look at gloves, they have a
string,
piece of
something?
No, string. Even more, like a thick
Depends
leather.
on the glove.
Yeah, there's something sticking it to the rest of the glove, so you can't open up that thumb and thumb somebody in the eye. Precise Presenter's claim was that the gloves had been tampered with either by Richardson or Cunningham or somebody in his team, which allowed Cunningham to thumb a number of his opponents. And if you look at it, look at the Troy Ross fight. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. Troy Ross, who I think won the season 3 of The Contender, Canadian prize fighter, and he had an unusual cut that ended the fight. And if Precise Presenter showed a slow motion shot of Cunningham jabbing Troy Ross, and you can see that thumb opens up. And I'm thinking, I've never seen a boxing glove do that, at least not any of the modern boxing gloves. And then he also went on to show a bunch of clips of Cunningham looking guilty, would you say, after the fight, and
Well, he's after the Canadian fight.
Yeah,
They're like they're gathering. He's gathering together with his family and Nassim Richardson. They were like in a group
they were huddled
together, praying because they're very religious. Praying to Jesus, whatever. So like, okay, yeah, like. That's kind of like weird after you start cheating like that, and then there's also like when the fight before the East European guy. I forgot the name, man. Did you see the whole video, man?
Steve Cunningham before you mean against the Golwak? No, it wasn't Golwak.
Jesus. Anyways,
Polish fighter, I believe.
yeah. So the trainer is the guy from the Polish fighter. The trainer, he's looking at the gloves, and then he's analyzing them, and then you see the face of Cunningham's wife who's there, and Nassim Richardson,
And some other people.
They're all concerned, looking like.
Or some of them looking away.
Everything's fine. Yeah, what's wrong? Why is he taking his time looking at the gloves? Because the other camp knew or had a suspicion about the cheating that was going on with the thumb. So,
and that's the other thing, because it's Nassim Richardson for a long time. He was the one being lauded as the guy who exposed Antonio Margarito, and before that also semi-exposed Trina, because he was never proven at Trina. But that was what Precise Percenter also was saying. I think
cheaters know cheaters.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, we don't know if Nassim Richardson. This is all conjecture, really.
Yeah.
But it does seem weird. Listen, a lot of these guys know a whole bunch of dirty little tricks, and that's what that was going back to the Ward Kovalev thing. Is there's a lot of guys out there that will do anything, absolutely
to win.
anything
And
to
understand
get that
this. I mean, you win a fight, you're moving on, you're getting bigger paydays as you win. So it's logical that some people will actually, start cheating to increase their paydays. So people will do this, man. People do this in life. Now, is it right? Absolutely fucking not, man. But people will take these chances to cheat.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, listen. People are gonna justify every action that they do, no matter how heinous.
Yeah, they will justify it by. Humans will justify their actions when they have to, man.
That's
And
right.
it's easy to find justifications for anything, man. Like, well, I need this money for this.
It's hard, you say?
No, it's easy.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah, they can just justify anything. I could be a boxer, start cheating. They're like, well, my daughter's sick, so I had to I need money, so I
always
cheating.
go back to that story of the guy.
I give 50% of my earnings, or 30% to some charity thing. So that's
Sometimes it's more simple than that. There was a guy who had survived a concentration camp, being in a concentration camp, Nazi concentration camp. And he's driving with the famous Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist, and all of a sudden the guy who's driving, who's also survived the concentration camp, he goes, oh, you know what, let's take a shortcut. And he turns and he drives through a field of cornfield. And he starts destroying the guy's cornfield. And so Frankl goes, hey, whoa, what are you doing? The guy goes, he says, you're destroying this guy's cornfield. The guy goes, well, what, haven't I suffered as well? So it's almost as if, so you see how people can justify that to themselves, like, hey, I suffered too, so, I have the right to.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. I come from the ghetto, so, I suffered.
Right.
I deserve this, and once you start saying that, I deserve this, then you're gonna cheat your well, you know what I mean? Like, just that's a justification. I suffered, I have an opportunity not to suffer anymore, I'm gonna take it. Other people go with the excuse like a survivalist mentality,
Yeah.
If I don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it, so I might as well just cheat, because the other guy might cheat and then he's gonna profit from that, and I'm gonna be here not benefiting from being clean, so I want to be cheat too, and then everybody starts fucking cheating, and it goes out of control, man.
Yeah, and then you look at also, I think Precise Percenter also pointed it out in his video about how Cunningham and Richardson might have been cheating. Again, it's not, he didn't prove it in the video, but he did show evidence that should have raised some concern.
Yes.
Too bad he pulled it down, but it's also interesting that these guys, let's say they were cheating, right? Yeah, Nassim Richardson, who calls himself Brother Nassim, and he wears the kufi or whatever, the Muslim thing, and he Brother Nassim, and he's quoting scripture.
He's a religious, perfect guy.
Religious.
Pious.
Cunningham, also another religious guy. Andrew Ward, another guy who's Son of God. That's his nickname. And he's always talking about how first I want to thank God. So it's almost as if they go into these things so that they can, if they are bad indeed. If they are bad people, but it's almost as if, hey, I'm going to church every Sunday to cleanse myself and to convince myself that I'm a good person, and that justifies everything that I do outside, because hey, I'm going to church. How many people have you seen that go to church and they be good unto others or blah blah blah, all those things, and then the first thing they do when they get out of church and they're in the driving out of the parking lot and they start screaming at people, flipping them off, cutting them off, it's like, it's inconsistency. It's inconsistent behavior.
They hide behind the religious badge or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because son of God Ward. So God is valuing your life more than the other. He's giving you the power to beat people up, beat them blue, beat them black and blue. Yeah, come on. I know we're getting a little bit too deep here about I don't want to go too far about human intent and evil. But listen, it's a contact sport. It's a combat sport. It's going to attract a whole bunch of people from all sides of the world. Some people are going to be good. Some people are going to be gracious. Some people are going to shake hands before right after the fight. And then you have guys like Andre Ward who seem to take the fights personally. He's the one that started against Kovalev, you remember. He's the one that gave him the cold shoulder. He's the one that started saying things through the media and presenting obstacles during the promotion, like kicking Kathy Duva out of some screening they were doing.
He's like a fucking crybaby. He should have just after the first fight, he should have been like, okay, I think I won the fight. I'll give you an immediate rematch right now. I'll prove to you that I'm the best. He goes through all these jokes and all these mental games and all these I
might retire.
And then he starts. They call. The coach from Kovalev,
John David Jackson.
John David Jackson. They try to get him he's trying to play mind games with Kovalev. It's like, do you really know that shit?
I remember Andrew Ward. Only he could announce the fight. Look, listen.
Only he could announce the fight. Like, what a pussy, man.
Look, guys. I know there's people out there that might be thinking, "Oh, you're hating on Andrew Ward," but come on, guys. Let's say you have some guy at work, at your office or whatever you work, doing the same thing to you. Would you really say, okay, I'm gonna excuse him because he's so talented, or you go, man, this guy's a fucking asshole?
He's so talented, he can do whatever he wants. Like, right. What is this shit?
You can't separate the talent from the person, and it's if you want to root for a guy like that, go ahead, and good for you.
I would have respected Andre Ward if after the first Kovalev fight he would have been like, you know what, I really thought I won this fight, and I am ready to give Kovalev an immediate rematch. Let's do it anywhere, anytime. Some. Even if it's bullshit, just some speech like that.
Right.
Nothing.
It's interesting. Mayweather.
I won the fight. It's over.
Mayweather, when he lost to Castillo, give Mayweather credit. He lost to Castillo. He should see a Freudian slip.
Should have lost.
When
yeah.
No. I mean, it was look, he won against Castillo. It was a controversial decision. People didn't like it at the time, and people still don't like it now. What happened? I think that the fight took place in April 2002, and then they fought again on the undercard of Klitschko Jamil McClain. They did it. He did it right away. He was the one.
You're a loser. You'll always be a loser.
Okay. He was the one that called the shots, and he asked for a rematch right away because people were saying that he had lost the fight and his ego couldn't handle it. And good for him. He went after the Castillo and he beat him in a more decisive fashion than the first fight. And he walked
because
away.
Mayweather believed in his abilities at least.
Exactly.
Like, Ward is just a fucking joke, man. He has to go again. These mind games, trying to get the best advantages that he can.
Yeah, get the most incremental.
The most advantages. Yeah, he's a joke, man.
And even you see Virgil Hunter too.
He was losing against Kovalev, but he was losing that fight.
He was losing that fight, yeah.
He was before the low blow fucking festival that would happen after that, man.
And it's interesting. Also, speaking of people making excuses, Manny Pacquiao is another guy. Everybody's always people fall sometimes for this. I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao is not a bad. It's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's an evil person or something. And neither am I saying that about Andre Ward. I'm just saying that they have attitude problems. And with Pacquiao, the attitude problem is that he also has that whole thing about, oh God, I believe in God and I go to church every day. Yeah. Meanwhile, we all know that back in the day,
his horse.
Marcus Serra, that was the claims coming out of the Philippines and the cockfighting. I'm talking actual Lustern. I'm not talking something else. And gambling and then also the excuses. You want to talk about excuses? Talk about Pacquiao. Remember, after the first Marquez fight, because everybody thought Pacquiao was after he beat Marco Antonio Barrera, was like, whoa, this guy's a superstar. I mean, he's a powerhouse. Mm-hmm. And then Marquez gave him a tough fight. It ended up as a draw. And Pacquiao, after the fight, in an interview, he said, well, what happened was that the reason I struggled for the fight compared to the Barrera fight is because I had a pair of new socks. He was actually blaming it on the socks. Remember that? They had a blister and bad socks. So he could. But that's what I'm saying is, see the ego thing. Again, I know fighters have to tell themselves, I wasn't at my best. Because you can't admit,
don't air with the shoulder against Rigo.
Right. But then Pacquiao, you want more excuses. Remember the Morales fight? He lost the first Morales fight. He said it was because of the gloves.
Oh yeah, the gloves.
Then Pacquiao, well, it was a shoulder. And then his fans start making excuses for him, like when Marquez knocked him out. Well, it was a lucky punch, and now against that he lost against Horn, Pacquiao did. People are he's saying that it's the judges.
No, it is the judge. He won
but hold on.
fight.
He says he was being set up, and it's a whole conspiracy. No. And some people from his team are saying that Bob Arum caused it.
I think so, man.
Well, whatever. But I mean, like we're talking about.
No, but he didn't. Okay, no, that's a bad example, though.
It's a bad example. What I'm saying is he's making a lot of excuses, and sometimes what you gotta do in boxing is.
Well, what? Oh, wait. What should Pacquiao say, though?
He should say, I don't agree with the decision. But he's going all about conspiracy theory. He's talking about...
they should... He told the WBO to make an investigation.
Right.
This should be fucking something common. That
when nothing comes out of this investigation.
I know these investigations never lead to anything. I remember the lawyer against Mosley too. He wanted an investigation. I think there was an investigation, but they're never gonna overrule the decision because then it would open a...
Yeah, it opens up a precedent.
But... No, I think Pacquiao did the right thing. This is a bad example.
Whether it's the right thing or not, I'm saying is excuses.
I understand your point. You're talking about when boxers actually underperform and or lose, and then they give an excuse.
Right.
But in this case, Pacquiao, he didn't underperform. I mean, he did pretty good for his fucking age. He's 38 years old. I think he won that fight.
I know, but it still says I gave 3 examples of excuses, and it's all.
He didn't give excuses. He said the possible reasons why there was a robbery.
But he was also. He didn't look his best. I can tell
he's 38, but he didn't lose that.
He came in undertrained. He came on undertrained, and he didn't put up his best effort. Sorry about that. I sneezed. He didn't put his best effort. Let's face it, Pacquiao. And despite what King Bucho is saying about, well, that he should have made excuses for the last fight, it's an excuse because he could have said, listen, I didn't perform my best. The fight, I let it be too closer than it should have been. Next time, I'm going to come in here with a game plan. You could tell he didn't have a game plan. This was a clear case of Pacquiao finding an unknown fighter who none of us thought had a chance to beat him, or very few of us, at least. Horn's immediate family and friends, maybe, they gave him a chance. But other than that, nobody really gave him a chance. So Pacquiao comes in, he thinks all he has to do is show up. He's got more experience, he's got faster hands, probably hits harder, or he thought he hit harder. And he thought it was going to be, a walk in the park, a stroll in the park, nice little Sunday stroll, and it wasn't that. So now it's about the judges, and yes, I thought Pacquiao won. But like Timothy Bradley, I was watching the fight, I said, sheesh. You're not exactly putting on your best performance at Pacquiao, and that could be dangerous because Horn was landing punches, and Pacquiao wasn't really landing all that much himself either. So it had all the ingredients to become one of those close fights. I got a comment here from Martin Matz. Matty lost the fight against Horn. He allowed Horn to outbox him in a lot of rounds. See, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Matt. I mean Martin Matz. But it's still, look, listen, I do still think that Pacquiao won the fight. But like I said, and like Martin is saying, the fight was a little too close. He's got experience. He's had close fights against Marquez, against Broner. He should have known what was up. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, that proves Bucho's point that it was a robbery. But it wasn't that... I didn't see the fight as wide as some people think to consider a robbery in the same level of Louis Holyfield. So Pacquiao should have known what was up. Now, Bucho's back with me. I was saying about how Pacquiao, some people are saying that, Bob Arum criticized Freddie Roach for not having a game plan. Did it seem to you like they had a game plan?
No, they didn't have a game plan. I don't give a fucking if they didn't have. I mean,
okay, you want to do me a favor and everybody else, just chew and then talk because it's
okay.
A little disgusting.
So, yeah, of course. Fucking Freddie Roach did a bad job. Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't even look at tapes of Jeff Horn.
No,
right? It's understandable because who the hell is Jeff Horn? Despite all of this, despite the having no game plan, Pacquiao did enough to win this fight.
Where did you learn your trade, you stupid
and
fucking
it wasn't
cunt,
close, man. It was competitive. As in, for me, competitive. It means that Pacquiao had to work for the win, to get the win.
Right.
But it wasn't a close fight. A close fight means that there's a lot of rounds where you don't know who won. That's it, man.
So you're saying that it wasn't a it wasn't that a competitive fight. Okay, well, look, listen. All I'm saying is, if you really want to talk about excuses, make one excuse and that's it. But what I'm saying is that the fact that he's coming out with so many reasons why he underperformed.
It's possible. Possible, man. There are possibilities.
Right.
They make sense.
The possibilities. That's I.
Well, there was a crime that happened. Well, there's a crime that happens. You know, the police they don't go like, well, there's only one reason why this could have happened. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of reasons.
You mean the motives or the
Motives?
My goodness,
no motives.
What the hell? Anyway, all I say is.
No, sir, I do not concur and I do not recognize your authority.
Alright, fuck off.
All right, well, whatever. Look, listen. That's the thing about making excuses. That's why I always respected a guy like, my goodness gracious. That's why I always respected a guy like Victor Chin, because after he lost against Donaire the first time in 2007, where he got brutally knocked out. Well, not brutally, but he was a bad knockout for him. He came back and he started rebuilding himself. And then when people would ask him, hey, what about the Donaire fight? Well, he wouldn't even acknowledge that the Donaire fight happened. So that's why I respected him, because some guys go, well, I lost, but I lost because no excuses. That's what they always say. No excuses, but I had a cold that day, or my training camp didn't go the way I wanted it to. Darchinyan didn't even go that route. He plowed forward as if that fight never happened.
He was robbed my miracle.
Yeah, I have to give him. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But that's what I respect about a guy that doesn't make excuses. Another guy that didn't make excuses was Costa Tszyu. I forget which fight. I think it was a Hatton fight. He made no excuses, and this is a guy who had ample opportunities to have excuses. Because listen, hey, I like Ricky Hatton. I'm a Hatton fan, or I was a Hatton fan. But that fight against Costa Tszyu in Manchester, it looked more like there was more wrestling than punching there. And there were points where Hatton was allowed to grab Tszyu by the back of the head, and just hitting him, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? So this is a guy, Costa Tszyu, who really did have a good excuse, and he said, no excuses. Beat me fair and square. So Costa Tszyu, one of the few stand-up guys out there. Again, I understand it's part of the game to say, blame another guy. I mean, blame something for your poor performance. Okay, that's part of the game. But sometimes it can go overboard. When a guy has 15 excuses why he lost, it doesn't look anymore like trying to save the ego. It just looks childish, and that's my point.
Moving on. This is it was a robbery, and that's fucking it, man.
He was robbed my miracle.
All right. Let's talk about the big one. Golovkin, Triple G against. Okay, do it.
I don't even know if I
Oh, fuck it, man.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about Golovkin Canelo.
He's coming out, Johnny. He's coming out.
Fuck.
Anyway, Golovkin Canelo. You want to talk about Golovkin Canelo? Let's talk about Golovkin Canelo. Let's talk about how the fact that people, and I've been getting. Listen, we're making videos about Golovkin Canelo. We're talking about their strengths and each guy's weaknesses, because the way I figured is, we used to do the BDA film analysis, or pre-fight film analysis, right, where we analyze each guy's strength and weaknesses, and I thought they were going on for too long. Yeah, we had a good viewership, good ratings, as it were.
Yeah,
the bosses upstairs were happy, management was happy, and we were happy as well with the amount of views we were getting. But I do think that a 45-minute video, or 40 minutes, or however long they were, I think at one point it was 43 minutes. Yeah. It's a little too long. I think it's better to space these videos out throughout the summer. 2-minute videos here, a 2-minute video there. You can sit down, you watch that video, and then you watch another one, and then you watch another one, and it's not that big a deal. It's not as cumbersome as it could be. So I've been making these videos. We're making these videos, and it's interesting. I think, I don't know why, but it seems to me like the impression is that there's more Golovkin fans out there than Canelo fans, which is crazy, because there's millions of Mexicans out there, right? Millions of Mexicans out there rooting for Canelo, but I just don't see them in the comment section. Now, every time... What?
The Spanish speakers, bro.
Yeah, they're Spanish speakers, that's a good point. Golovkin does have a good fan base, a good web fan base. A lot of people in the message boards love him. You criticize him for anything, and it's they're not. I'm not saying they're bad fans. Like some other people, other fighters have fans that border on the religious fanatic side. But Golovkin does have his fans, and I'm interested because I think, looking at it from that perspective, I'm wondering how many how many pay-per-view buys it's gonna do. I think it's
2 million.
Yeah, I think so because it's been proven out there. There's a lot of Golovkin fans. Of course, you have the Canelo fans, the Mexican fan base. It can only do great business here. Obviously, we know it's gonna do a lot of money, but I'm asking how many pay-per-view buys can it do?
I'm saying 2 million.
2 million.
And the Mayweather McGregor circus will not affect the pay-per-view buys for.
I don't even want to talk about that.
No, I'm just saying because some people are saying that shit, man. Anyways,
but okay, here's another one then about the Canelo Golovkin fight. That I want to
Stop
mention.
lying to the fans! Stop lying to the fans and
There's another one that I want to mention. This is Canelo Golovkin. It's a lot of people. Every time I say that Canelo can hurt Golovkin, people say no, he can't. And I'm thinking, what? Am I living in a different world here? Because I've seen Canelo back guys up. He's dropped
which
them.
guys are gonna say? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, if Daniel Jacobs was able to back Golovkin up, why can't Canelo? I don't understand. I people say, oh, it's a different style. What's the difference? What difference is the style?
Well, okay. First of all, Jacobs was longer, bigger frame than Canelo. He's like 6'1", maybe.
Yeah, he looked like
he's a big. Well, he looked like almost like heavyweight man.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was understandable for Golovkin to actually not charge in, stay from the distance.
Yeah, it was prudent. It was
prudent. Yeah, let's just put it that way. So, yeah, and Jacobs actually did attack the body, and Golovkin doesn't like that, so he started backing up. So some people, it's understandable. Some people believe that Canelo, because of his frame, because he's smaller, he doesn't have that reach that can cause problems to Golovkin.
I understand, but see again, I'm saying that if Canelo hits him, he can hurt him.
No, absolutely. No,
right, okay, yeah, but that's what. Yeah,
no, because we're talking about like how the fight would play out, like.
Okay, yeah. No, I understand what you're saying.
And fucking Jacobs didn't have any fucking balls, to be honest.
Liar, whore, liar.
Well, Daniel Jacobs didn't have any balls.
He had balls because he was in the fight, but I believe that the plan that him and Algieri had was to blow up in.
He was Algieri.
It was Algieri, the conditioning trainer, whatever. The point is
the cook, huh?
Yeah, cook conditioning trainer.
He was a conditioning trainer?
I don't know. It was the cook, whatever. But he said about. Anyways, point is, Jacobs was. The plan was. I don't know who devised the plan, and I don't care. But the plan was that he was supposed to be.
I think it was Andrew Rozier, his trainer.
Or whatever. Gain a certain amount of pounds to have an advantage today.
Oh yeah.
So then Jacobs comes into the fight against Golovkin. He dropped the IBF, by the way, because there was a 15 pounds of 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 10-pound limit, right? You know.
Yeah, it was. That if he weighs in more
than 10 pounds, so he dropped the IBF.
That's why he dropped it.
So the plan for Jacobs was to come in heavy.
Yeah.
So when you come in heavy, I guess the plan is that you want your punches to feel stronger and you want to charge in or something. No, despite Danny Jacobs having this weight advantage, what does he do? How does he fight? Like, he backs up.
Well, that's his style.
Well, okay, so what's the point of that weight then?
That supposedly would carry more power, and thus.
You know, when you have more weight, you're putting yourself in danger of getting tired, right?
Yeah. But obviously they didn't see it that way.
Wow, they really see Golovkin as much. Like, you cannot. There's no way you can beat Golovkin.
Again, I want to go back to
Golovkin's that good that you have to change your fucking fight plan and gain all this weight.
This is just conjecture from my part. But remember, they also had Virgil Hunter in the camp, and that to me smells like a Virgil Hunter tactic, coming up higher in weight so that you're gonna have every advantage possible. Because remember, we were talking about Ward and Virgil Hunter, and they're the type of guys that see it that way. They're gonna do whatever it takes to have an advantage and win that fight. So I think
Golovkin is that great of a boxer that you actually have to start, coming in real heavier than usual.
Hey, take that up with those guys, man.
Why can't Jacobs fight Golovkin like he fought other boxers?
Because Golovkin is more dangerous. That's the way they see it.
That dangerous? I mean, that you have to put all this weight the next day, sacrificing or potentially sacrificing your stamina.
Yeah, because you think they did it by accident. It was deliberate.
And the fact that Jacob survives because Golovkin actually didn't put that much pressure, so he was able to get a breather.
That's the other thing that we're going to make a video about Canelo's stamina, and also I want to make one about Golovkin's stamina, because I'm thinking
Golovkin doesn't have that much stamina either.
But that's the thing. It's
You're gonna see that.
He did look tired to you, right? Against Jacobs, it's not
Yeah,
just
he
my
looked tired.
imagination. Right.
He didn't even do that much because he actually went past this 10th.
Right, because people think, well, Golovkin's the type of guy that he's gonna get stronger with time. But you saw him
stronger with time.
I mean, as the fight goes on.
As the fight progresses.
Yeah,
to
but
a
you
certain
saw-
extent.
If he's getting his way, if he's having his way
Yeah.
with the fighter. But even then, and I'm gonna show this through video evidence, right? Footage. I'm gonna have footage here. I'm gonna have a whole case. I gotta have a whole case. I got some people from the local firm law helping me out with this. I'm going to show video evidence that Golovkin doesn't really quite have that great stamina, but I wanted to get to the point. Remember in the 12th round against Jacobs, we can agree that the fight was... It wasn't a sure thing for him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he must have known that since it was closer than he expected, it could have gone it could have gone Jacobs' way because of the fact that he
New
was the
York.
underdog and New York. Yeah. So he tried ending that show in a succinct fashion, in a strong fashion. He it seems like he turned on the afterburners and he realized, whoops, I don't have as much gas as I thought I was gonna have. So that's my thing, is I wonder how much stamina he really does have.
He has okay stamina, but he's it's not great. He's no fucking Pacquiao.
That's the thing, because then you look at CompuBox for that fight. I think he threw somewhere around a little more than 600 punches. I think that's a lot for a middleweight, right? Or that's the average.
I don't know the
I
average.
wonder what the average is, but hey, 600. That seems like a lot of activity. And if you look at the CompuBox numbers as well, a lot of those punches were jabs.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is he's not, because think about it. You've seen him punch people. You've seen him work the heavy bag. He puts everything into his shots. And for those of you who have boxed before, you know that if you're putting everything into every shot, and you're not gonna land all of those. You're not landing even 50%. Having a 50% landing ratio, that's quite a good ratio. And even then, you're missing another 50% of your punches. So when you miss a punch, especially a punch that you put everything into it, it's gonna take out a lot out of you. And that's what's going on with Golovkin. He puts everything into his shots, and when a guy like Jacobs was able to deflect a lot of those shots or just plain out take him, it took a lot out of Golovkin. We also, without mentioning the fact that Jacobs was able to land some good body punches on him. I think that also drained Golovkin a little bit. But then again, to be fair, we're also gonna make a video and we're gonna mention Canelo's lack of stamina himself. When he's fighting guys like Angulo, who are slow as molasses, or Paul Smith, whose power he didn't
he
really
can
respect.
stay in there.
He can stay in there or back off into the ropes and play. Against Golovkin, bad news, right? Bad news.
He's coming out, Johnny.
I mean, something's gonna happen there. He can't play around with Golovkin. It's gonna come down to that fight. It's gonna come down to who can invest more throughout the fight, because Golovkin, what he usually does is, this is Golovkin's classic pattern in the fight. He comes in, he boxes a little bit, cautiously, and then when he opens up, boom, he drops the guys in between. He always drops guys between the second and fourth round. That's usually when he drops them, and that's when you see guys going, "Oh my goodness, what the fuck? What type of power is this?" And then some of them can readjust and sort of survive for another 2 rounds, like Willie Monroe or Gabriel Rosado. He got stunned also and was able to survive a little bit. Martin Murray got dropped.
How
also
did he survive?
by going on the defense.
Moving.
But that's what I'm
Danny
saying.
Jacobs.
And then eventually he cuts them down because he cuts off the ring so well,
Yeah.
and he gets to do what he wants against them. But against Jacobs, he could even, and that's the other thing. See, he dropped Jacobs. What was it? 4th round, 3rd round?
Third.
Something like that. Again, it was following the same pattern of a Golovkin fight, but then Daniel Jacobs started using deft footwork to sort of complicate things for Golovkin, and Golovkin couldn't ever follow that up again. That success that he had in that round. I mean, at least hurting him that much. So against Canelo, it's going to be interesting. The first 4 rounds are really going to tell us a lot about how the fight is going to go, because Canelo also is a fast starter. I mean, it's a fast starter in the sense that he usually starts letting his hands go, or has most of his success at 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. By the 6th, 7th, depending on how demanding a fight it is, he starts slowing down. So if you look at those patterns, both guys, there's going to be a lull where none of those guys are going to be working that hard. And that's when one of them has to take.
So it might be a war.
I think it's going to be. I think Golovkin. It's interesting if Golovkin starts boxing like a lot of us expect that he's going to do, and then he can't do it. He's going to have to go after Canelo, and Canelo likes that.
Yeah, because let's say Golovkin jabs and Canelo moves his head a bit, and he's the one who's following Golovkin, and Golovkin's moving, throwing the jab a bit. Then Golovkin starts moving forward with the jab still, and Canelo's kind of like backing out, moving his head, so Golovkin can land that clear jab. But let's say let's say in our eyes, in the majority of eyes, Golovkin's winning close rounds with that jab. It doesn't matter what we think, the majority thinks. What matters is what the judges see.
Exactly.
And we know that the judges are gonna be pro Canelo.
Oh yeah.
You know, so at that point in a fight, if Golovkin's winning the rounds, but they're kind of close, Golovkin must start thinking, you know what, fuck it, man. I need to do something more, because we know how the judges operate in Las Vegas.
Tame the cunt!
The fact that the judges are gonna be pro Canelo might incite Golovkin to actually do more than what he usually would do.
Absolutely. Now, of course, I do have to mention that sometimes the favorite doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Remember, Mosley De La Hoya too. That was a fight that should have gone to De La Hoya by most standards, but the judges liked Mosley's aggression and body punching. But even that's a fight where the favorite should have, the Las Vegas favorite, which was De La Hoya, should have gotten the decision, and he didn't. So I could see something weird like that happening, where Golovkin actually, he shouldn't deserve the decision, but then he gets it anyway. Sort of like to make up for some of the bias that's been shown to Canelo. Some of the favoritism, I should say, not bias. But listen, going back to the thing about Canelo hurting Golovkin, I think he can hurt Golovkin. I don't understand this. People say, oh, Golovkin's gonna walk through his punches. Well,
what? No, who knows says that?
You think? No, people are saying that, man. You think? I mean, these people who are saying that. You think Canelo doesn't hit as hard as Willie Monroe, as hard as Gabriel Rosado? I mean, better. You don't think he's better puncher than those guys?
Yeah, he has better combination punches.
Better combination, more precise.
Hits the body. He has good hooks to the body.
And then the fact that people say Golovkin, those same people say, well, Golovkin is gonna outbox him. Well, which one is it? Is he gonna outbox him, or is he gonna go straight at him?
Well, if they think that Golovkin's gonna outbox Canelo like he did David Lemieux, it's completely they're wrong, man. Lemieux had no hand movement. He couldn't even evade that jab. Lemieux was expecting a brawl because who did Golovkin fight before Lemieux?
2015, Willie Monroe.
Yeah, Willie Monroe, and Golovkin was taking all these punches, remember? But he wanted to take those punches.
Oh, yeah.
So then Lemieux's like, oh, perfect fight for me, I'm gonna...
Actually, I don't think he let the guy... Anyway, but yeah,
I think he did, man. Come on, he did, man.
But the point is, you're saying that Lemieux... people are comparing Lemieux to Canelo.
Golovkin fits perfectly into my style. We're gonna start brawling, and I have enough power to hurt him.
Have people seen... Hey, we had when Canelo fought Chavez Jr., Lemieux fought on the undercard.
Yeah.
So the people who were watching that, do you really think that you have a clear comparison there on the same night? Do you really think that Canelo is on the same level as Lemieux?
No.
So I don't understand.
No.
It's a little bit ridiculous.
It's gonna be a tough fight, man. And what if Canelo is able to take Golovkin's punch, though?
What if Canelo is able to take Golovkin's punches? Well, that would be dependent upon whether he can roll with the shots. Because we've seen guys who can minimize the other guy's power through rolling or through defense, and certainly Canelo has good defense. The thing is, and this is a valid criticism that people are saying, is that Canelo's footwork isn't all that it's... he's got good technical footwork, but he's not a fleet-footed fighter, and that might end up causing him against Golovkin, should Golovkin start pushing him backward.
Yeah, well...
But I think Canelo's gonna try and stay in the pocket there.
Shit, man. But then again, the power is there, man. So
that's the thing.
Like, how else can Canelo fight, though? Like,
he's not gonna get on his toes.
No, he can't.
Boxing. He's gonna go in there with an offensive mindset, which is, I'm gonna hurt Golovkin. He's gonna respect me. He's gonna try to make Golovkin afraid of opening up. That's the only way I can see him. The only real alternative, because he's not gonna start boxing from the outside. I mean, come on. Plus, Golovkin if he does try to do that, Golovkin is a good outside boxer himself. So I mean,
how is Golovkin gonna try and fight, though?
I think he's gonna try to do that. He's gonna try to box from the outside with the jab.
Well, what about the big drama show, though? Doesn't he want the fans to have? I think he's gonna forget about the fans in this fight. He's gonna really try to just win the fight, forget about going for a knockout, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think his plan is good. Well, actually, I think his plan is gonna be to start out boxing, soften Canelo with the jab, and then
wait for him to get tired.
Yeah.
The thing is, Golovkin also gets tired. man.
Exactly.
I don't know where did we get this idea that, like you said, Golovkin against Jacobs. Golovkin started looking a bit tired, man. The age might be also a factor in it, but point is he was getting a bit tired.
Mm-hmm.
So against Canelo, imagine we end up with two tired fighters brawling or trying to fight on the inside. That would be an amazing fight.
that would be the best scenario, because how many fights have we had now where the guy, the tough fights, hyped up fights, and then neither guy delivers, and it's all you know what I mean?
That sucked.
See, here's the thing, you gotta familiarize yourself with the board, because
I can lay you out and fill your mouth with your mother's feces.
all right, yeah, you go ahead and do it. But yeah, it's what I'm saying is I hope this fight lives up to the hype, because come on, we've been watching a lot of these events. Mayweather Pacquiao, of course, haven't forgotten that one. Ugh. So I hope nothing happens here where somebody butts heads, or some fucking drunk gets into the ring and ruins the whole fight, bites Canelo's ear off or something, or starts trying to fuck him up the ass. Something's gonna happen. Something like that could happen, I should say. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. Right? But, the Canelo-Golovkin fight, and that's the other thing I'm saying, guys. Canelo can hurt Golovkin. Don't get it twisted. Don't fall into this whole thing that Golovkin is this steel chin. He does have a good chin. But the reason why he's been able to take a punch so far is because, A, he's got good defense, underrated defense. He knows how to tuck his shoulder very well and roll with some of the shots. Even when he has his hands up, he rolls with the shots, takes some of their steam off. But I don't know if he can just walk. If he's gonna walk Canelo down, he's gonna have to move his head more than he's been showing recently. I remember when Golovkin a couple of years ago, he was moving his head more, even against guys that couldn't really punch all that much. Now all of a sudden, maybe it's a development or an evolution of his style that he thinks he can walk guys down, and he doesn't have to punch. To move the head all that much. I just want to remind guys out there that this is the Boxing the Boxing Debate Arena live transmission. If you want to contact us through Google Hangouts and come on in on the show, tell us what you think, your comments, you can do so by emailing us at boxingdebate.
Not emailing us, like you.
Messaging us, yeah.
Yeah, just message us on Google Hangouts, and then if you want to join the Google Hangout chat, just send your email, and then we'll add you on the Google Hangout chat, group chat, and then you can talk, and you're gonna be live.
You're gonna be live, exactly. You can say whatever you want.
You can talk shit.
And you know what? This show right now we're talking because we're the only ones here. But if you got carte blanche to say whatever you want. This isn't a formal show where we're just at worst or at best I should say we're moderating. That's it.
Yeah, and drinking.
That's right. So you go ahead and say whatever you want. I was just talking about the Canelo Golovkin fight. That it seems to me that Golovkin used to move his head more, even against lesser punchers. And now I don't know, like you said, if it's age or if it's an evolution of his style that he doesn't feel like.
Well, when did he move against Jacobs?
Against Jacobs, he wasn't moving the head all that much.
Well, he didn't need to. Jacobs was so far, man.
But when he did make Jacobs miss, he usually made a miss.
Who landed more jabs?
Well, hold on. Golovkin now, it seems to me, he makes guys miss by stepping back a little more, taking little steps back. But before, if you look at his older fights against lesser opponents, he used to move his head more. Now I don't know why he doesn't feel like he has to do that. But yeah, who landed more jabs? It was Golovkin, and you can see that. And
Jacob was throwing the frightened jab.
Yeah,
that's why they call it the
jabbing from the back seat.
Yeah, exactly. You're not really committing that jab. Golovkin throws that strong jab, committed, aggressive jab. Jacobs was landing that not sloppy because there's sloppy jabs are jabs that are when you throw it, you back the hand. How do you say it?
You mean when I said jabbing from the back seat, which is you're backing off at the same time or right after you jab, which means you're scared of the incoming fire.
Yeah, well, that's what Danny Jacobs was doing, throwing that frightened jab. So
every once in a while,
why would Golovkin be afraid of that and move his head that much? Come on, man.
I understand. No, okay, yeah.
Golovkin was more committed to his jab and landing his fucking jab.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but what I'm saying is, when guys throw combinations at him now, he just covers up. Maybe he doesn't respect the punching power all that much and he doesn't feel the need to move his head. I don't know. But I'll tell you this much. Against Canelo, he's going to have to watch out, man. Because Canelo, people saying, well, when was the last time Canelo knocked somebody out? Well, think about it. When he knocks guys out, when people survive fights against him, it's because, like, for example, Chavez Jr., I'll say it again. which I did in another video. Chavez, his whole game was to pressure Canelo, and he didn't. He went on the defensive. Why? Because he was scared of the punching power. He got hit. He tasted some of the power, some of the body shots. He said, "Fuck this! I'm getting out of here." But so people are saying, "Well, why didn't he knock Chavez out?" Because he couldn't. If Chavez would have kept pressuring him, he would have been knocked out. He would have been pressure. He would have been ground. Canelo would have ground him down. But it didn't happen because Chavez went on the defensive. So if people think that Golovkin is gonna go on the inside, and he could do it. But then if he does it, it's gonna be a war at the same level or near the same level of Checo Corrales against Jose Luis Castillo. I'll tell you that much right now. That's how it would be, that type of fight. Neither guy would give an inch. And I don't think that benefits Golovkin all that much. Yes, he hits harder than Canelo, but Canelo hits hard too. Not as hard, obviously.
And he can take a punch, Canelo. I mean, just by looking at his body.
Nah, but then people
let's say
Cotto. Remember Cotto 8 years ago? How he stunned it 8 years ago. Come on.
Oh yeah, no. Because I'm thinking Golovkin likes to hit the body, and then let's say Canelo goes on the ropes, which I really don't think he's gonna try that against Golovkin, but Canelo's gonna get tired for fucking sure. He's gonna lean on the ropes, and then that's when Golovkin likes to throw those little hooks on the body. Those hooks on the body. I think Canelo can take those hooks, man.
To the face?
To the body.
I don't know.
I think so, man.
If he covers up, see, that's the worst thing about it. If he covers up, he's giving Golovkin a chance to just hit him all whatever. Cause you turn into a punching bag when you just go on the when you do that total show.
Yeah. But Canelo likes when fighters.
Yeah. Go to him, and then they start throwing those body shots and uppercut, and then Canelo just he pops up with a shoulder uppercut.
Mm-hmm. I think Golovkin's gonna be hesitant to start unloading on a guy who's on the ropes, on a Canelo that's on the ropes. So
on the one hand, Canelo does that against lesser punchers, but on the other hand, Golovkin throws, when he has a guy on the ropes, he probes with his jab, he looks at the guy, and then he'll throw one punch. He'll probe, he'll throw another punch, remember?
Yeah.
And would give Canelo the opportunity to punch him in between. So there's two ways of looking at it. One, if Canelo goes to the ropes against Golovkin hits way too hard to allow him to do that.
Yeah.
Or like the other thing I said, Golovkin isn't really that much of a volume puncher, so it might give Canelo chances to counter in between that one single shot, which sometimes can be quite wide from Golovkin. But that's the thing about Golovkin, is he's an offensive-minded fighter, so he doesn't care if he opens up with his shots too wide or too short or whatever. He's gonna let his hands go. So I think it's gonna be a tactical fight, man. It's gonna be a tactical fight in the sense of each guy is gonna have to ponder, because they both can get hurt. Like I said, Canelo, people say he's not a big puncher, but he's a heavy-handed guy. So both guys are gonna have to weigh their options and really think, at this moment, if I throw the punch, am I gonna be vulnerable?
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of thinking.
A lot of thinking.
Which will prevent people from executing their usual game plan. Meaning, like, when Canelo's fighting Liam Smith, he doesn't have to overthink. He's like, well, I'm gonna throw that right hand when I feel like throwing my right hand. You know what I mean? When I see an opening. Yeah. When I think I see an opening. And Golovkin, the same thing. It's like, oh, I'll just throw this punch now because I feel like I'm gonna. It's the right time to throw that punch. But when Golovkin and Canelo are gonna be fighting each other, there's gonna be a lot of overthinking. Like, well, usually I would throw my right hand at this point, but right now I don't know because this guy is so hard, or he moves his head this way. And the quality is way better than their other opponents I have faced in the past. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's not gonna be. It's going to be an interesting fight.
It's going to be interesting because both guys are going to have to turn the heat on.
You can't cook with cold grease. You got to turn the stove on.
They're going to have to turn the heat on because, and this is the thing, imagine if, like I said, I always go back to that example. When Diego Corrales fought Jose Luis Castillo. Castillo, back then, he was like a little bit like Golovkin in the sense that he would start slow, start getting in body shots, wear the other guy down, and then by the end, as the fight neared its end, he was getting stronger. Yeah. And that's where he excelled. So what Corrales did, he said, listen, I'm the biggest puncher he's faced up till now. If I box him from the outside, which I could do because I'm the taller guy, that's what he wants. He's gonna try and grind me down and get stronger as the fight goes on. So Corrales said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go after him from the start of the first round, So that way, okay, I'm gonna get tired, but so is he, because he's not used to starting that fast. So maybe imagine Golovkin does something like that, where he goes, I'm gonna start fast.
That's what I was thinking that, man.
And if he does that, then it's gonna be a slugfest.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, for a while, because then they're gonna get tired.
No, I think Golovkin might try to do that at the first part of the fight. He's gonna try to go in strong. Then he's gonna realize, you know what, I can't take him out. Then he's gonna start to slow down.
Yeah. I could see that happening.
To be honest, well, we'll talk about this later.
And because
how it's
also,
gonna end.
okay. But also because remember, Golovkin, he's coming in here. This is his big fight. The fight he's always dreamed of.
Yeah.
So who knows?
There's
how
no
he's
bigger
gonna...
fight for Golovkin.
No, there's not right now. So that's what I'm saying. Either he comes in here tries to play it safe because it's his big shot, or he goes, I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna make people big drama show.
Big drama show. Like.
Keep coming.
No, but I see a robbery happening, but that's
okay. Come on, you don't see.
No, I see a
just,
fucking robbery, man.
Nah,
Jesus Christ.
nah. You're talking out. You're just saying that to scare people.
People know this.
People don't know. People don't know it. You're full of
Hey, you
shit.
think McGregor Mayweather may affect the fight negatively?
snorting?
Like, who wants to watch boxing? Boxing sucks.
No, I don't think it's gonna take away. You mean take away pay-per-view guys?
No, because I was thinking Canelo Golovkin might bring. This is the type of fight. Canelo Golovkin is the type of fight that can actually bring in casual boxing fans.
Right.
When you reach the 2 million mark, or above 1.5 million pay-per-views, I think you already get. That means that you're getting casual, non-boxing fans into the fight. You know,
yeah.
So can McGregor Mayweather affect this fight in a negative way? Meaning casual boxing was like, well, why would I've heard a lot about Golovkin Canelo, but I watched McGregor against Mayweather and he sucked. So it reminded me what boxing is in quotations. So then they might be like, well, I don't want to see Canelo Golovkin.
I don't know. That's because on the one hand, the people that are gonna see the McGregor Mayweather fight, like you said, they're casual fans. They don't know much about boxing. On the other hand, they might understand even after the fight that, hey, listen, McGregor Mayweather, he was a MMA guy against a boxing fighter. Obviously, it wasn't gonna be that good of a fight. This one is two guys who actually are experts at their sport. Out there, So I think that's gonna be good. Either way, I don't know if it would hurt it. I don't think it's gonna hurt it that much that the fight becomes a box office bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A dud. No, it's gonna be like you said. Hey, Golovkin has a lot of fans. Canelo obviously has a lot of fans, both in Mexico and in the United States. So it's
it's not gonna be a bomb. That fight will do at least 1.5 million, at least. But I'm thinking maybe it could do more, but but Mayweather McGregor will affect it negatively.
I don't see how it. Yeah, unless my McGregor Mayweather show fight becomes an even bigger circus than it already is, and it just that's what I was saying. Imagine somebody gets into the ring and tries to fuck McGregor up the ass or something. You know what I mean? Something that really leaves a bad. But it would have to be something along the level of Tyson Holyfield, where McGregor loses his mind and tackles Mayweather. It would have to be something like that. Something that makes people.
Oh man, this are the two scenarios that I see how this fight's gonna end. Like we're gonna see McGregor either in the 6th round or something like that. After that, he's gonna be so fucking tired. He's gonna be in the corner. He's gonna fake an injury. He's gonna say like, my leg hurts, and then he it's like he's gonna stop the fight. He's gonna be like, oh, it's not my fault. It's my fucking leg, whatever.
He hit me in the Lucky Charms.
Yeah, and then the other scenario is McGregor fucking starts hitting Mayweather in the balls, or he starts complaining about Mayweather's shoulder. Then he also starts fighting dirty, and then McGregor starts 6-8 disqualification.
But hold on, you don't see this fight maybe Mayweather taking it easy on him the way Hopkins did against De La Hoya?
Mayweather against De La Hoya?
No, remember Hopkins when he fought De La Hoya in 2004?
Oh yeah,
and he took it easy on De La Hoya. And I know people saying, well, took it easy, he knocked him out. Yeah, but it looked like a sparring session prior to that knockdown blow.
De La Hoya faked the knockout.
I don't know, but listen, the point is that it looked, whether you agree with that or not, that it looked fake. The fact that Hopkins was fighting so cautiously, and some people are going to say, well, afterwards he always fought cautiously against Howard Eastman. Prior to that, he had fought cautiously against Robert Allen, in the rubber match, and then against Jermaine Taylor. But I don't know, he had a guy, De La Hoya, in there that he could have really bullied more. Yeah. And he did. So essentially what I'm asking is, Mayweather, McGregor. Everybody knows that Mayweather. This is his office, the boxing ring. He's gonna take care of McGregor easily. So maybe Mayweather goes, you know what? I know people are gonna criticize this fight if it's because becomes a mismatch. So I'm gonna try to make it into a sparring session. You know when a good guy spars another guy and an inferior guy, and the good guy lets him have a little success. You know, to let him practice something. Maybe that's what Mayweather's gonna do, because I think he's gonna be so much in control. He's gonna allow that.
No, I don't think so, because then people are gonna make fun of Mayweather.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
They're gonna be like,
okay,
"Oh, you allowed a non-boxer."
But how about he dominates him, but he doesn't?
Mayweather's gonna try to knock him out, man.
You think so?
But I don't think he. Yeah, oh, for sure. But I think he will need to. I mean, he's like I said, McGregor's gonna get tired. He's gonna stop the fight in the corner. He's gonna claim that he's injured, or he's gonna try to get disqualified, and then claim that that he was the referee was against him or something.
Does he finally retire after this? Because he's adding another. Yeah, because he's adding another $100 million to the bank. I mean, come on,
Jesus Christ.
With that much money, why?
He deserves it.
No, but I'm saying
he earned it.
But what I'm saying is, would he fight having so much money now? And besides, who else would he fight? Pacquiao, who just lost to Jeff Horn?
No.
You know what I mean? I think after this he's done.
Unless he fights the winner of Golovkin Canelo.
That's why I'm so uninterested. Yeah, well maybe.
No, he won't.
But that's why I'm so uninterested in that McGregor Mayweather spectacle, because Mayweather is retired, man. For all intents and purposes, he's retired.
How is the Nevada Athletic Commission allowing this shit to happen?
Well, listen, that's a whole other subject right there, and it all comes down to money. All right, money.
What if McGregor gets brain damage? I am a prick.
What if he gets brain damage?
Well,
McGregor's not gonna do. But anyway, that spectacle. No, listen, that fight is gonna be.
Where's my? Oh yeah. Oh, anyways, yeah, that fight is gonna. It's
gonna be. Why we return to the subject, man?
He's gonna sell a lot of tickets.
Knocked out George Groves at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 fans.
Oh yeah, it's gonna sell a lot of tickets. But like you said, your question was whether it was gonna affect the Canelo versus Golovkin fight.
Yeah,
or the perception of it. I don't think so. No, I
don't. I hope not. I hope not. I think boxing fans know that this fight. What? Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, we can. Wait, hold on.
Well, listen.
Technical issues here.
Technical issues, but I'm gonna keep talking because I don't have any technical issues. Listen, the fact that Canelo Golovkin, when you have a big fight like this, you have to wonder: are there gonna be any shenanigans with the decision? Because it's gonna bring in so much money for Las Vegas, and you know that there's not any other big fight right now in the horizon for either of those guys. Yes, Canelo can make money fighting most anybody in Las Vegas, but this much money? And the amount of hype that it's gonna bring when he fights Golovkin, I hope there's no any shenanigans that go on in order to get a rematch going.
Oh man, imagine.
Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible with these fucking judges and everything. All the money that everyone's gonna be making, anything can happen, man. You know and I know it's a whole bullshit, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a rematch. I think it's gonna be a shit fight. It's gonna be a snooze fest. People won't be talking about it after. It's just gonna disappear into oblivion.
Now the thing,
Bolivian.
The thing I like about boxing is that there's always somebody coming out afterwards. There's always, and I don't mean coming out of the closet, homosexual. I'm talking about somebody else becoming a big name. For example, when De La Hoya retired, or was about to retire, people were saying, well, when his career was winding down, people were saying, well, who's going to replace him afterwards? Where Mayweather come along? Then Mayweather thought he was bigger than boxing and he decided to take a little break 2008. And what happened? Pacquiao beat De La Hoya and Pacquiao became a big star. Now we have Canelo Golovkin, who haven't still broken through that type of level yet, to the Mayweather-Pacquiao level, although they are the two of the best known boxers in the sport right now. But there's always somebody that comes along. So I'm thinking, well, after Golovkin, Canelo, what all the big fight is there out there that could make that type of money? But you never know. Which brings us to the Charlo brothers. Right. Charlo brothers, which are going to move up to middleweight. I think they are the real deal. I do think that they're very, very good fighters, and they're big guys too. I think they're a little bit like Daniel Jacobs, that they look a little bigger than just middleweights.
Yeah, now, you want to talk about superstars. What makes a superstar a superstar? Is it just talent?
No.
Okay, no. It's charisma.
Yes.
It's how you perform inside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it depends how you are promoted. the way you're promoted.
And what does that
PBC
entail?
doesn't promote
But
shit.
hold on, but what does being promoted entail? That you have to have a warm or agreeable personality that people want to watch you, not just to watch you fight, but because they like watching you fight because of something else that you bring to the table. For example, Fernando Vargas, yes, he was an exciting fighter, but he wasn't, Arturo Gatti type exciting. So why do people go to see him? Because he had the personality that he would talk to every single person that went up to him. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying is if you want,
he saw the best fights possible as well.
Exactly. So
at
it's
22 or 23, he was already, he asked for the Trinidad fight.
So it's a package. It's a package that
Yeah.
that you can promote.
Yeah, if the Charlo brothers demand a Golovkin fight like immediately right now, and they go to and talk to Al Heyman and tell him, I want this fight next, no bullshit, then yeah, of course, then people are gonna start respecting them. If they're gonna be hiding behind the PPC and then taking all these shit fights every 8 months, then they won't become superstars, no matter how much talent they have.
But I do wonder how big a names they can be. Because, for example, Floyd Mayweather, he had an abrasive personality, but he also had a lot of talent, and so it seemed like he became the Michael Jordan of boxing, mean that he was so dominant and people paid, even if he wasn't exciting, people would pay to watch him, not just to lose, but to watch him perform in a sense. Because afterwards when his fights would get very boring, people would go, why am I watching for this? Why am I paying for this, I should say. But he was an aberration. Because some people like Rigondeaux think, I'm just as good as Mayweather, I'm just as dominant, so I should be getting paid millions. That's not gonna happen, guys.
No, it's like not about talent. God
exactly,
damn it.
It's not just about talent.
Gatti didn't have shit talent. I mean, I'm sorry.
Calm down. Like I said, it's a package, right? It's a package that you have to have a lot of elements to be promoted and to be a big name. The Charlos, I always confuse them with Jermel, the one that beat J-Rock, Julian Williams.
Yeah.
He didn't do himself any favors acting the way he did immediately after the fight. And yes, he did apologize afterwards, but it seems to me like they're a little too hot-headed to become mainstream. So like, I'm sorry, but we gotta talk about race. We're gonna talk about culture and race in this one. I don't see, like, there's a lot of, let's talk about this in black culture, African American culture. I was gonna say Afro-American. What am I, Kramer now? But in African American culture, there's a lot of, it comes from the culture of playing basketball and talking trash, right? Talking shit, talking smack.
It's not all.
I know it's
about
not
like the urban.
Yeah, I'm talking about the urban community. A lot of them seem to like a guy that's vociferous and very vocal.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that the Charlos could appeal to that because they're hot-headed. They say what's on their mind. Even though afterwards they change their tune because they realize it's not the best thing for their profile. But I can imagine somebody, let's say a Mexican who doesn't speak English, I can see him going, oh man, I like those Charlos, the way they talk and the way they conduct themselves. I'm gonna be a fan of this. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I know that's an obstacle that I see preventing them from being mainstream. Because talent-wise, they're very fucking good boxers, man.
At the end of the day, I understand all these things, but these are like the main thing that makes a fighter popular is how he fights inside the ring.
Right. At the core, you mean?
At the core, yeah. There's obviously there's tons of reasons why somebody would like a certain fighter, but the main one is knockout power.
Yeah, because like Gatti, for example, he could have been the greatest. He could have been the best person in the world, but who's gonna go see him fight just because he's a good guy? You know what I mean? It's the fact that he was exciting all the time and he had power, and that's what made him a lot of his fights exciting as well. Is why people love him so much because they knew, and then the attitude and his, the fact that he was a nice guy, well, to the fans, because he also used to get into a lot of street fights.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was nice to the fans, they said, "Wow, this guy is nice to us, and he's delivering fights, and he puts it all on the line. We're gonna pay to watch him fight." So you're right. At the core of it is whether you deliver good fights or not.
Also, who you're fighting in a way as well.
Again, yes, the package.
I mean, you look at Wilder; he's knocking out his opponents, right?
Right.
But I mean, you can do that to a certain extent. But when it's been 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, you're fighting nobodies. Then people start going like, well, I mean, stop talking all this shit about how powerful you are, how strong you are, how much power you have. When you're beating these type of opponents, I mean that we've waited long enough. It's time for you to fight a big name.
Again, the PBC
Anthony
effect.
Joshua already beat Klitschko, biggest name in his resume and a bigger name than any name on Wilder's resumes.
I am a prick.
So yeah, I mean, it's also who you fight, man. You can be knocking out bombs your whole fucking life.
That's what I'm thinking. When you mention Wilder, I look at him and I go, he has the potential to. I mean, come on, I agree, right? The potential for him to be a bigger star is there. He's a young guy. He's brash,
heavyweight,
and he's undefeated, and he hits very hard. And he's in a division where, for a long time, Americans have lacked exposure there. He's one of the few remaining American superstars at that division, and he's undefeated. Like I said, but the way he's being managed, he's fighting. And now they're talking about him fighting. He was gonna fight some guy that I go, why would he fight this inferior level of fighter when he should be gunning for Anthony Joshua? I don't know if he's gunning for him or not, but
I think he wants him to fight Anthony Joshua, but you have to talk to Al Heyman, man.
And then the Povetkin fight, which was gonna happen, and then it fell off the rails. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, Deontay Wilder does get himself a couple of good. If he would beat, for example, if he knocked out, let's say Joshua, or maybe even Klitschko, still, he would become a brand name, mainstream guy in the United States and probably the world, because again, heavyweight.
Oh yeah.
But the way he's fighting,
there's no way he's gonna
the guys he's fighting,
doing the windmill. He's gonna knock out Joshua doing a windmill.
But even then, I'm telling you,
if he knocks Joshua out, of course he would be of course.
Or if he just keeps knocking. Look,
he hasn't done shit.
At this moment, if I were Deontay Wilder's manager or whatever, and thank God I'm not, why would he want me as a manager? What I'm saying is, I would tell him, listen, okay, you're not getting these big fights, just keep knocking guys out. That's all you gotta do right now.
That's what they're telling Wilder right now. Just keep knocking these people who we put in
That's
front
what I
of
said.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, for how much longer can you fucking do this?
They're not getting that big.
And there's people that actually defend Wilder. So I'm like, are these people retarded, man? Because come on,
defending him for about the opposition, you mean?
No, it's like, how come? No, they can't even defend the opposition.
No, they can't.
Okay, so what they're saying is, give Wilder credit, and so other fans are going like, well, credit for what? And they keep insisting, give him credit. Man, I mean, get serious, man. If he knocks out Anthony Joshua, I mean, come on. If you don't give Wilder credit,
were you gonna say Deontay and Joshua?
No, if you don't give credit to Deontay Wilder for knocking out Anthony Joshua, then you are.
Now you said Anthony Wilder. Anyway, go ahead.
Anthony Joshua, then you are retarded. I'm saying.
Yes, somebody's retarded here. That's
very
for sure.
politically incorrect here with those.
But anyway, man, listen. I agree with you that the opposition. I mean, who can? Are there actually people defending? You said the opposition that he's fighting.
No, nobody can defend that. What Wilder fans are saying is that give him credit, whatever that fucking means. I mean, they want give credit to this guy. Like credit's gonna change anything. It's like no.
Well, at the very,
we're gonna
very
give credit to a guy who fucking.
At the very, very, very least, he's at least knocking them out. But again, I point to the. He's throwing against George Washington. No, not George Washington. What's his name? George Washington, football player. He was a football player up until years ago.
Yeah.
And Wilder,
Gerald Washington.
And Wilder, who went to the Olympics, and he can't outbox this guy.
I don't know. He won a bronze.
He didn't win. He medaled. I mean.
He medaled the bronze.
And even then, he only had about 20-something amateur fights. So just because he went to the Olympics,
physical advantages.
Oh yeah.
It's not like he at that weight. It's not like you can win a fight with moving and jabbing and stuff like that. It's more like when you're a heavyweight like that and you're big with long arms, you have a huge advantage. Mm-hmm. That's how he was able to get a medal.
See, at this point, I'm thinking Deontay Wilder is almost in a Jermaine Taylor camp. Remember Jermaine Taylor when he was in his prime and people were saying, "Oh, this kid, he's still improving. The kid." Yeah. Well, now you're looking at him and he's not improving. Deontay Wilder, that is. I do believe in fighters being able to change. I don't believe that the old adage of a leopard can't change, an old leopard not being able to change its spots. You can change your spots. First of all, we're not fucking leopards.
To a certain extent, yeah.
But Wilder hasn't been improving. So I think at this point it's fair to say that he's not. I don't expect him to be a heavyweight Tommy Hearns anytime soon.
His toughest fight was imagine him fighting like Tommy Hearns.
He could, but
his toughest fight was against Steve Earn.
Toughest in the sense that he had to.
His biggest fight.
Yeah.
Well, he went to the distance.
And his biggest win as well.
Now, Steve Earn is a fight cruiserweight. Let's be honest, and he's still struggling against him. He got hit. He was able to take those punches, because different punches are more like thoughts, and he actually knocks out people when he has them on the ropes, like Ariel and shit like that. But did you see all the mistakes that Wilder made against Stiverne?
Yeah.
Okay, slow ass fat Stiverne. Are you gonna tell me he has a chance against Anthony Joshua?
I don't see that's a big because no, I mean he does have a chance based off his power, but Anthony Joshua, and some people can say, well, Klitschko was outboxing Joshua. Yeah, okay. Are you comparing Klitschko with Wilder? You know, Klitschko's boxing ability against Wilder. When has anybody seen Wilder really outboxing somebody the way Klitschko does, or to the same extent?
Never. No, because he doesn't have any boxing skills. He showed that against Gerald Washington. He was losing that fight.
I don't even know if that's his real name, but anyway, yeah,
it's Gerald Washington. It's Washington.
But I know what you're saying.
He was losing that fight.
And don't forget Spilka.
And he was losing against Spilka.
Spilka was costing him a lot of trouble.
Crazy, and then John lunged in, and then he got hit. I mean, that's what it wasn't like a Marquez right hand.
No, it wasn't a setup. You know, it wasn't something that was really set up. Again, I don't believe in such a thing as lucky punches, because if you throw if you throw a punch, you're creating your own luck essentially. So it's not that much of a lucky punch. But yeah, I don't think he set that up as in, oh, I see the punch coming.
Yeah.
And Joshua does have a good pedigree, a mature pedigree, so he knows how to box. Yeah, Klitschko was outboxing him, but I think that had more to do with Joshua being tired than anything else, really. Essentially, what I'm saying is, if you compare both guys' boxing abilities, you could say without a shadow of doubt that Joshua is a superior boxer, technically.
Yeah, and so then why should we give credit to Deontay Wilder is what I'm asking.
I give him credit because of the fact that he's a crude guy, but he still keeps winning. And now people can say, well, it's because of his power. Yeah, but that's like saying, well, Mike Tyson would have sucked if he didn't have any power. You can't take away the attributes that the guy has and judge the career based on that, because the power is what it is, as is the hand speed and the reflexes.
But Mike Tyson had some technique, to be honest. He wasn't doing a windmill.
Yeah, I know, but listen, at the end of the day...
Mike Tyson do a windmill? Did you ever see Mike Tyson do a windmill?
No, but at the end of the day, it's about whether you're winning. Just like you say, when at the end of the day, what decides if a guy's a superstar is the way he fights. For boxers, the end of the day is their mission is to win. And so far he's been doing that, and at least he's been knocking him out. But like you said, there's a lot of holes in that game. You know, there's a lot of holes in that house, a lot of water dripping in. And eventually, if he's not careful...
Wow, I'm impressed.
Eventually, if he's not careful, that house, the foundation is gonna crack, it's gonna rot, and it's gonna fall down.
Well, fuck it.
Alright, so that was a BDA Boxing transmission, the second one, live. If it uploads correctly onto YouTube, you're gonna be able to hear the whole thing, the whole ramble that we had here. Again, guys, next one we're gonna announce in the coming few days. We're gonna be doing a lot of this, because we want to give the people a voice to communicate with the rest of the boxing world. Next time, don't forget to join us at boxingdebate@hotmail.com. We'll include you in the Hangout, the Google Hangout, and you can tell people what you think, give them your opinions. And that was, the Boxing Debate transmission. A lot to talk about. We're going to have a lot to talk about in the coming days. This was a transmission from King Bucho and Lex Fresno, aka Bobby Tex. We will see you on the next one.
All right.
liar, whore, and you know it. I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass. Here I come. Bang! Where are you?
Before I knocked out George Groves at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 fans.
Golovkin, you are next, my friend. Golovkin, you are next, my friend.